This is just to give comfort to Nigerians that the issue of supply has been addressed. The issue of distribution is also been addressed. And the pricing, we had also commitments from all the stakeholders, from MOMAN to DAPMAN to IPMAN, and all the stakeholders in the value chain.
Major stakeholders in the sector, including the Depots and Petroleum Product Marketers Association of Nigeria, DAPMAN, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPEG, reiterated commitment to end the scarcity.
Good evening. Delighted to have you join us on the feedback segment of the program. I am Abigail Oweibia. Since the official unveiling of the new NNPC Limited brand on 19th July 2022, the company has embarked on expansion of its businesses in the energy sector and more especially increasing its footprint in the downstream sector of the oil and gas industry. The NNPC retail outlets usually record huge vehicular traffic in their various locations across the country as motorists throng the retail stations to buy products. In this episode, we sought to know why the heavy vehicular traffic at NNPC retail stations. Please come along.
If you want peace of mind and you don't want to struggle with thuggeries or people that go through one way, this is your best option, because for other stations you go to, you discover you're on the queue forever. There's no orderliness, and you also show that you're getting for the right pump price and the right liter here, basically. So that's how this come here to buy for.
The reason why I would rather want to queue and get fruit from here, the meter is good. I'm sure of the product I'm buying. I've seen that you guys are trying to open another NNPC along this road. Beautiful. You should have more, so people can easily buy fuel and get back to their place of work.
I prefer NNPC, right? Because I trust their pump and then their service. It's okay, it's pretty okay what they are doing right now. You know, at least I can, anytime you drive in here, even if you are on the long queue, you know it's going to move. There are no touts. That's one of the things I like. There are no touts. There are no people, you know, collecting money from you. You just drive in and you buy and you drive out.
Because they are honest. They don't use to cheat. They are honest. And the NNPC product is very good. It doesn't damage the vehicles. That is why I used to come here to come and buy the fuel.
The NNPC Limited is fully committed to ensuring maximum economic performance and energy supply stability for domestic markets through customer-focused and sustainable business operations. The vision of the company is to be the dynamic global energy company of choice, with a mandate to create an energy business that is efficient, resilient, and sustainable. Energy for today, energy for tomorrow. Please sit back for the rest of the program.
Did you know that autogas is the common name for liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, when it is used as fuel in internal combustion engines? It is a mixture of propane and butane, and it is widely used as green fuel. Did you know that autogas reduces carbon dioxide exhaust emissions by around 15% compared to petrol? Did you also know that petrol engines are suitable for LPG conversion, with consumers enjoying cost reduction and environmental benefits like less dust and fumes? Now you know.
Good to have you on Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices fell on Monday, deepening a multi-week decline as a weakening global economy offset supply woes stemming from the closure of a weak pipeline supplying the United States and Russian threat of a production cut. Brent crude futures were down 38 cents or 0.4% at $75.72 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude was at $70.76 a barrel, down 26 cents or 0.3%. Last week, Brent and WTI fell to their lowest since December 2021 amid concerns that a possible global recession will impact oil demand. China, the world's biggest crude oil importer, continued to loosen its strict zero-COVID policy, though streets in the capital Beijing remained quiet and many businesses stayed shut over the weekend. On Monday, queues formed outside fever clinics in the cities of Beijing and Wuhan, where COVID first emerged 3 years ago. Oil markets will likely stay volatile in the near term amid uncertainty over the impact on Russian output from the EU's ban, headlines on China's COVID policy and central bank movements in the US and Europe. UBS said it believed Brent should recover to above $100 per barrel in the coming months amid supply constraints and rising demand, while OPEC Plus would keep supply tight. On Sunday, Canada's TC Energy said it had not yet determined the cause of the Keystone oil pipeline leak last week in the United States. It gave no timeline as to when the pipeline would resume operation. The 622,000 barrel per day Keystone line is a critical artery shipping heavy Canadian crude to U.S. refiners. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday that Russia could cut production and would refuse to sell oil to any country that imposes a price cap on Russian exports. Saudi Arabia's energy minister also said on Sunday that price cap measures had no clear results yet. The emergent EU embargo on Russian crude may add moderate upside energy price risk in the next few months, but supply uncertainty should ease by spring 2023 after the embargo on oil products on February 5th plays out, Deutsche Bank said in a note. That's it on this segment. I am Binta Magaji.
What do we do at NNPC? Since inception as the national oil company of Nigeria, our mandate has been to serve the nation by regulating the oil and gas sector and meeting the energy needs of over 200 million people. Over the years, we have invested in tomorrow's leaders and contributed to the development of communities across the nation. We have grown a network of over 500 service stations. We are the driving force behind the constantly growing Nigerian economy. With an efficient distribution network servicing all parts of the country, we ensure the highest quality standards in our crude refining processes. Nigeria boasts of immense oil and gas reserves which we explore in commercial quantities, providing endless opportunities for economic development. As we drilled for oil, we discovered vast amounts of gas, up to 200 trillion scf. By harnessing gas, we have reduced gas flaring and invested in liquefaction plants, shipping gas across the globe. Our energy footprint is remarkable. We supply gas to the domestic market for power generation, reaching all across Nigeria, powering everything, anywhere and everywhere. NNPC, energy for today, energy for tomorrow. Oh, energy for tomorrow. So come on, let's go.
That's the package. Thanks for being part of it yet again. Great takeaway in this edition is the assurance that fuel will be available all across the country at Yildad and beyond. Give the date next week.
Seven days a week, You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, Go TV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. And to watch NTA International in the USA, Canada, and Mexico, use the following satellite parameters. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get it.
Oh, if I care, you care, and we'll all care. I share, you share, and we all share. It will be a beautiful world. Be a better place. If I listen, you talk, we communicate. I give you those who don't have a means to a better life. If you believe in a better world, just be the best that you can be. If you believe in a better world, just be the best that you can be. Believe in a better world.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like me. He did great. A couple of years ago was when his acting began. Bow down to my playing sword.
Think you can play? Catch.
I take him to auditions and give him Twisco, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor. You got the role! Give your kids Twisco to support their big dreams. Twisco, power your dream.
I need something we go ginger me. We thump I dey breathe for it now. I dey run kilometers. That's why I dey come.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like me. He did great. A couple of years ago was when his acting began. Bow down to my flaming sword.
Think you can play? Catch.
I take him to audition and give him Twisco, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor. You get the role! Give your kids Twisco to support their big dreams. Twisco, power your dream.
Binta International School is an award-winning nursery, basic and secondary school.
Founded in 1994, Binta International School has won multiple awards due to its unique blend of quality education.
Binta International School is a boarding and day school which caters to male and female children in crèche, playgroup, preparatory class, nursery 1 and 2, basic 1 to 9, and SS 1 to 3.
Binta International School is also a Cambridge Associate School where candidates can register and sit for IGCSE and A-level examination.
Our school has so many facilities: up-to-date libraries, state-of-the-art computers, well-equipped laboratories, conducive male and female hostels, and a distinct recreational program which includes taking us on local and international excursions.
Binta International School is located at
Telephone. Binta International, the school for the child you love.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like me.
You did great.
A couple of years ago was when his acting began.
Bow down to my flaming sword.
Think you can play? Catch.
I take him to audition and give him Twisco, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor. You get the role! Give your kids Twisco to support their big dreams. Twisco, power your dream.
Alexander Arnold in the fullback position. Salah plays with Sadio Mane and White. Leading the attack today is the ultimate pressing machine.
Mom, why are we doing all the work? Why these boys are here playing games? Because we're boys and you're girls. Gege. Mom, why are you even listening to this? No, wait, I will avenge this little run to Rebia. Hey, player. No fair. You're cheating. Oh, dribble is keeper too. Oh! Mom, I was just playing Bobby's name on goals. But you didn't, so I win. No way, I win. I was leaving on the scores for the day. No way, I win. Are you seeing? Oh, listen. Two of you don't go upstairs now and tidy up your rooms. You will kiss your computer game goodbye. No, not the game. Then do exactly what you're told. Your cousin Ogechi is coming over. And I want this whole house to be clean and tidy by the time she gets here. Ogechi is coming today? Mm-hmm. She was coming next week.
What I really don't get is the fact that mom wants us to clean the whole house when she doesn't even like the person that's coming over.
Young lady, you better watch your mouth. Mom, but she's saying the truth actually. What? We know you don't like Ogechi.
Because she said that she's rude, disrespectful, overprivileged, and
where did you keep getting that from? Mom, we heard when you were talking to Uncle Amadi. You said, and I quote that. Just shut your mouth. You better just go upstairs now and tidy your room. Remove the best friend. Give to Lizzie to change her watch. Okay? But
Mom, why do we get to do Miss Lizzie's work?
Madam, I think I am loving this new innovation introduced by the governors. So, continue with your work. And let them tidy their room this very minute.
Welcome, Ogechi. Are you just going to stand there or are you going to take my bags to my room?
And I may also have you know that those bags are expensive enough to feed you and your entire family. So, you better treat those bags with some respect.
Welcome, Ogechi. How was your flight? I'm hungry.
I want related fish. No, I'm diet.
What's this your thing she rejects? Bobby, no, not you. I think Ebuka, get Mr. Mensah for me. Get him.
And can you make it? I need passwords to upload cheat codes to your data game.
Upload cheat code. Why is Mom acting so strange? Oh, Washan, which Miss Nina was here? This rude one, you didn't have a chance to do this. That's true. Wait, what did she say she was going to again?
No more ghetto back.
Enjoy cargo choco, 35 with vital rich plus iron.
Okay, this is a glass of layer milk which contains milk calcium and other essential vitamins to help build strong bones, strong teeth, and that's why we love it. Now, do you understand? Good. Now, can we have a glass of layer milk, please?
Lawyer milk is enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, including calcium, for good nutrition. Lawyer, supporting good health and strong bones.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like me.
You did great.
A couple of years ago was when his acting began.
Bow down to my flaming sword.
Think you can play? Catch.
I take him to auditions and give him Twisco, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor.
You got the role!
Give your kids Twisco to support their big dream. Twisco, power your dream.
Do you want to blow? Add skills to your talents? Hurry to Pepsi Film Institute. Register for a Federal Ministry of Education accredited 2-year national diploma in film and television production, music, performing and media arts. Take 3 and 6 months courses in script writing, directing, acting and presentation, music studio production, digital photography, cinematography, video editing, styling, costume and makeup, producing and production management. Pepsi campuses and hostels are located at Lagos 5 Joy Avenue up Osolo Way, Ajao Estate, Isolo, Lagos, Ibadan, 32 Oyo Road, Coca-Cola area, Ibadan, Oyo State. For further inquiries, please call Lagos 0703 162 2270, 0811 630 5684, WhatsApp 0813 337 0731, Ibadan 0702 508 4243. Pepsi Film Institute, bringing out the star in you.
Unity for all. Are you not having fileted fish? My darling, you're already having spaghetti, so eat your spaghetti and chicken like every other person, okay? No, Mom, I want to have the fish and roll. You don't even like fish. Eat fish. You do. Every time we have fish, you always end up saying, I hate fish. I'm very sure it's because of you we stopped eating fish in this house. No wonder breakfast took so long. I'm very sure Mr. Mensah had to go to the market to get fish.
It's actually taking so long because of the process of filleting. It involves cutting off a side of a fish while avoiding all the bones, ensuring that a measured portion of the side of the finest part of the fish is prepared, carefully seasoned. Among all of you,
Matala goes again.
no bone.
Seriously? No, I really want to try it, Mom. Bobby, just enjoy your chicken, okay? You'll love it.
No wonder you all look so lean in this house. And it takes forever for you to get ready.
Oh, the food is here.
And about time too.
Oh, the filleted fish smells amazing. Bobby, just stop. Let me draw. You were there when I was hating fish and you didn't advise me. Yeah.
Oh, what is this? It's called rice. I see your baby people don't have it, abi? Rubbish. I only eat basmati rice, not whatever this dribble, this excuse of a chef of yours put together. I'm not eating this dog food. Then you better.
No. Mr. Mensa, please. I might be a bit of a trouble for you, but can you just be a dear and prepare something else for her?
Well, no problem. No. Right away. My apologies.
It's okay. Thank you.
You don't have to be so mean, though.
I need to see Mr. Mensa.
Your mother needs to talk to him. Why does she always have to beg him to do his job? He should be fired, just like my daddy would.
Why do we allow Ogechi to talk and act like she does? And we don't do anything about it.
Probably because she's an only child.
I wish I was an only child. Ah.
Whatever you do, just fight the urge to beat that girl.
I really wish.
You see that wish? Continue to unwish it. Huh? Because auntie will not take it lightly with you if you lay your hand on her daughter. Apart from guilt-tripping you on maltreating her, she will blame you for everything that is wrong in the life of that girl.
Nenian, you can imagine, I am just so pissed that I got myself into this mess.
Mommy.
Yes, darling. What is it?
It's Ogechi. She won't let me use the television and I just finished my 2 hours of studying.
Tell me. Okay, just give me a minute, okay?
Motola, my baby. Kedi one.
Adi my uncle. Snickers na chocolate is in the gotolum. It got a bayao.
Papa, let's open over again. Go. I no go. He need like I get good touch. I get with the channel. No go. And you're going so.
Okay, come on, let's go. Mommy, work. You're the one teaching my daughter Igbo.
I'm not the one, though. But isn't it good that she can speak one of the major languages in Nigeria?
I speak a little bit of Hausa and Benin too.
Oh.
Do you want me to teach you some?
No, thank you. Don't teach me. Okay, Uncle Amadi.
You're suck on this game. I'm sure Bobby will win you on it. I will. Please let me try.
You're cheating! You're just a big cheater!
Aww, little princess wants to cry. Last game I beat you with one hand. Now I'm beating you with my eyes closed. I can't even beat Bobby like that, and he's the worst player ever. That's a lie! I beat her in this game all the time. Ever. Look at you, it's really bad. I should this girl right now. Huh?
Unity for all.
Be inspired with inspirational quotes and win in the Top T Taste to Know Inspiration 2.0 promo. Enjoy inspirational quotes and get a chance to win free airtime or 10,000 naira cash prize. Simply buy a pack of Top T, collect inspirational card with unique letters to spell Top T. Take a picture of your collection and share on Facebook or Instagram and tag at Top T Nigeria. Offer valid while stocks last. Terms and conditions apply. Top T, taste to know.
We are young, spirited, and open to new adventures. We choose to celebrate individual beauty through our hair, from curly to straight. We say, spin your style daily. ORS olive oil, strong, silky straight.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like me. And did great. A couple of years ago was when his acting began.
That's my playing sword.
Think you can play? Catch.
I take him to auditions and give him Twister, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor. You got the role! Give your kids Twister to support their big dreams. Twister, power your dreams.
With over 100 million views and 500,000 subscribers, we invite you to subscribe to WAP TV channel on YouTube to enjoy free access to latest and classic episodes of Akwan and Oduma, Super Story, Papa Jasco and Company Reloaded, The Babington Family, This Life, Nena and Friends, Kukuruku, Mr. and Mrs., Top 5, Ikebe Super, Health Matter, The Beat Zone, Marry Me, Property Matter, Love Battle, Friends.com, Movies, and other high-quality entertainment content. We also have giveaways, audition opportunities, and lots more. To subscribe to WAP TV channel on YouTube, simply visit YouTube and search for WAP TV channel. Then click on subscribe button or use your phone's camera or Google Lens to scan this QR code. Tap on the link which appears, then click subscribe. Subscribing to WAP TV channel on YouTube is 100% free, and you can watch it on your smartphone, computer, tablet, or smart TV.
Give me a heart attack or what? You are drinking alcohol. So? That's why. Isn't that like bad?
No, it's not. It's cool.
Cool?
Yes.
But my sister said drinking alcohol is bad for children.
That's because your sisters are slackers.
But I've seen it on TV and in magazines too.
Look, you don't have to believe everything you see on TV. You know, alcohol makes you like all grown up, and it's what gives me confidence to talk as I want.
So it makes you do what you want to do.
Exactly. Here.
I really think I shouldn't.
Fine. Be a midget for the rest of your life then. You see, you're a natural.
Really?
Yes. You have to go again.
Good. Me villager. You will see who is villager. Bobby, you want to kill yourself, Abby? You are not this girl. Teach you bad thing.
Hey, look. You better watch the way you talk to me if you don't want to lose your job.
Hey, you small. You know fit.
I can. And I will. By the time I call my mom and tell her you beat me and Bobby, it should make your boss like awful that she will get you fired. Just like that.
Me? I thought you knew.
That is exactly what I and Bobby are going to say. And then you get fired. You're losing your job.
You this girl. You wicked though.
I don't want to know what you think or what you think you know. But you have to shut up about this. Your job is done. Done. Get out of here. Get.
Wow. Ogechi.
Speak with me and I will teach you a thing or two.
You have the nerves to come into my house with cigarettes. I started teaching my son how to smoke. Oh, damn you! You can't talk to me like that. You are. If your mother didn't have the good sense to teach you manners that matter, you will learn it here. I'm definitely calling mom. Stupid fool. What am I thinking? Hello, one minute. Me na John Wadi na when you come out the crazy oku omume wadi ajoka. You know the better question. You know what you are me say siga. Say siga. Obo ko son ka ho. Ya ko wa TV. Obo bi le zoshi. Don't bother yourself at all. I am equal to her. I will teach her manners that matter. No, don't worry. This is just a notification call. You know? What did you tell my mom? Please shut your mouth. Huh? In fact, all of you.
I missed you all. Wow, you guys are looking very beautiful.
Good afternoon, ma. Welcome, ma.
Good afternoon.
Can I help with your bag, ma?
No, don't.
Tenny, is that the room we talked about?
Not very well.
Thank you.
Did mommy change living?
Oh, that's just our cousin.
The naughty one?
Yeah.
What happened?
The moral of this is that don't cross Mrs. Babington.
You do so at your own. No, I can't see that.
If I care, you care, and we'll all care. I share you.
Thank you, viewers, for making us your #1 family drama.
You can't afford to miss fresh episodes of Papa Ajasco and Company Reloaded, Super Story, Nigeria's most watched TV drama, The Village Headmaster, Akpan and Oduma, also on WAP TV. We're nothing but pencils in the hand of the creator.
In a better world.
A day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, The errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome to Africa, the land of ancient civilization.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, Go TV channel 91.
Hello and thank you for joining us on the news on NTA International. I'm Naja'atu Tijani, but first, the headlines. US President Joe Biden expresses confidence in ability of President Buhari to supervise conduct of free, fair and credible elections. Second Niger Bridge temporarily opens for Yuletide season. Performance management system takes effect from first quarter of 2023 for accountability and transparency. Now the news in detail as signed by Kennedy Ife. US President Joe Biden has expressed absolute confidence in the ability of President Muhammadu Buhari to supervise the conduct of free, fair and credible elections in 2023 at a strategic meeting with leaders of 6 African countries facing elections next year. The US leader particularly commended President Buhari for demonstrating a high sense of commitment to Nigeria's democratic enterprise. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
Apart from President Muhammadu Buhari, the high-level meeting with the U.S. President Joe Biden was also attended by his counterparts from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Gabon, Liberia, Madagascar and Sierra Leone. Discussions held behind closed doors centered on the forthcoming elections in their respective countries and sustainable democracy in Africa. The meeting, President Biden said, is not about the U.S. raising the alarm bell or claiming to be having concerns and solutions, rather to encourage them towards ensuring that balloting is free and fair in their countries.
He singled out Nigeria and Mr. President for praise. These countries have their representatives, their ambassadors in Nigeria, and who are seeing that, Mr. President has never sought to interfere or to manipulate elections and election results. And of course, this has been seen in the recent past with governorship elections, in which the ruling party candidates have not won. And, and Mr. President has welcomed those results and, as the people speaking. And I think the international community now recognizes that he really is a democrat, not just in words, but in action. It's a recognition of the legacy of Mr. President, which is a non-interference in the electoral processes, and that votes will count and count decisively.
President Biden told the African leaders that his administration is prepared to do everything it can towards supporting the forthcoming elections in their countries being free, fair, and credible.
President Biden, I think, was talking about enabling environment for democracy to flourish. Things like education, health, and all those quality of life issues that contributes to a society being prosperous and therefore able to make the democracy thrive, and job creation, and just the economic support and other aspects, and so he feels that in those areas where the U.S. can support, that they certainly would do so.
During the engagement, President Buhari restated his commitment to not only credible elections in Nigeria, but also a smooth transition to the next administration as a matter of obligation. He commended the United States for continuously supporting Nigeria's democratic enterprise, which he said will not be taken for granted. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
President Joe Biden of the United States says improving Africa's infrastructure is central to his administration's vision of building a stronger global economy which can better withstand the kind of shocks witnessed in the past few years. Consequently, the president has announced a $350 billion investment package for what he calls Digital Transformation with Africa, an initiative aimed at ensuring that people across the continent participate actively in digital economy. This was while addressing the U.S.-Africa Business Forum as part of the ongoing Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C., from where Adamu Sambo again reports.
My administration's engagement with Africa and the priority we place on these relationships began on day one. Because when Africa succeeds, the United States succeeds. Quite frankly, the whole world succeeds as well.
The U.S.-Africa Business Forum, attended by President Muhammadu Buhari and dozens of other heads of state and government, has as its theme partnering for a prosperous and resilient future. It is aimed at advancing two-way trade and investment partnerships that bolster Africa's role in the global economy, scale innovation and entrepreneurship, as well as drive advancements in critical economic sectors.
Together, we want to build a future of opportunity where no one is left behind. Today, I'm announcing that the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation is investing nearly $370 million in new projects, $100 million to increase the reliable, clean energy for millions of people in sub-Saharan Africa, $20 million to provide financing for fertilizer to help smallholder farmers, particularly women farmers, increase the yields of their crops, $10 million to support small and medium-sized enterprises that help bring clean drinking water to communities all across the continent.
Africa's economic transition, President Biden said, depends largely on good governance, healthy populations, and reliable as well as affordable energy, and the United States is committed to supporting every aspect of inclusive growth on the continent.
The United States is signing a historic memorandum of understanding with the new African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. This MOU will unlock new opportunities for trade and investment between our countries and bring Africa and the United States even closer than ever. This is an enormous opportunity for Africa's future, and the United States wants to help make those opportunities real. 1.3 billion people and a continent-wide market totaling $3.4 trillion.
During the forum attended by business leaders from across the United States and Africa, several deals were signed as a concrete proof of an enduring commitment towards cementing new kind of partnerships between the United States and Africa that will spur shared success.
I think the U.S.'s focus has been on moving the relationship with the continent from one of aid to one of trade, and then moving from trade to investment. And today they announced a $300 billion commitment via the IDC, which has been restructured, and now they want to make equity investments across the world with a big focus on Africa because of the opportunities. I think that we must commend our president, President Muhammad Buhari, who has led a solid initiative to project the country on the international stage, and that's a big plus. And I think with initiatives of this nature, when the commitments the U.S. is making materialize into actual investments into the continent, Nigeria will get a large share of those investments. AfroExim today signed a $500 million commitment. African Finance Corporation, which is also Nigeria-based, also signed a $500 million commitment. So at least when it's not just a talk show, people are walking away from here with bankable documents in their hands, and we are looking forward to the deployment of these funds.
The U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit continues. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Beyond the huge investment, the U.S.-Africa Leadership Summit also presented the African leaders in attendance the opportunity to articulate their common interests and adopt common positions. Charles Alpha takes a look at some of these issues as the summit winds down.
When the U.S. President Joe Biden invited the African leaders to a summit, he had in mind a clear motive. The plan were that African leaders must continue to press for 2 permanent seats on the United Nations Security Council. The transnational challenges of cross-border conflicts, terrorism, transnational crime, poverty, and pandemic, which necessitated the transformation of the United Nations through the equitable distribution of decision-making power. Discussions at the summit centered on the clear motives and demonstrated the United States' enduring commitment to Africa. Assembling most of Africa's leaders in Washington for the first time since 2014, Mr. Biden vowed to invest $55 billion on the continent over the next 3 years while supporting its ambitions for greater global leadership and bolstering efforts to transform it into a more prosperous, healthier region.
It's because Africa's economic transition depends on good government, affordable.
In the course of his interaction with African leaders, the president unveiled a series of initiatives, including an agreement meant to encourage the formation of a continent-wide free trade zone that was stalled over the last few years. He vowed to help African countries do more to transition to clean energy and plug into the digital economy.
If we stop being beggars and spend Africa's money inside the continent, Africa will not need to ask for respect from anyone.
After the summit, it is expected that African leaders need to step up and deliver, explore and make more concrete ideas of providing cooperative regional leadership shared between sub-regional leaders and the continent. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Meanwhile, about 100,000 nurses staged last resort strike in UK over pay. And United Arab Emirates expands Red Sea presence with $6 billion Sudan port deal. Charles Alpha again reports.
Nurses in the United Kingdom have staged an unprecedented one-day strike as a last resort in their fight for better wages and working conditions. About 100,000 members of the Royal College of Nursing in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland are stopping work from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Thursday after rejecting a government pay offer. The industrial action is part of a growing wave of stoppages by public and private sector employees. The strike is the first in the union's 106-year history. The United Nations Economic and Social Council has adopted the resolution on the removal of Iran's membership in the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. The draft resolution introduced by the US obtained 29 votes in favor, while 8 ECOSOC members, including China, voted against, and 16 countries abstained. The resolution voices concern over Iran administering policies. In Africa, Sudan has signed an initial $6 billion deal led by the United Arab Emirates AdPort Group to build a vast new port and economic zone, expanding Abu Dhabi's presence in the strategically important Red Sea region. The Abu Amama port, to be built north of the existing key hub of Port Sudan, will include an industrial zone, an international airport, and an agricultural area covering over 400,000 hectares. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Now back home in Nigeria, the redesigned Naira notes are in circulation, but most residents in Abuja who went looking for them this Thursday were disappointed at the limited edition. Leah Katong Babatunde reports that sources within the deposit money bank say it will surely go round, but not at the pace expected by the public.
So precisely on the 26th of October 2022, we got invited to the Central Bank of Nigeria for an emergency briefing, which was eventually going to change the look of Nigerian currencies, perhaps forever. Now, Governor Emefiele announced that the currency was going to be redesigned, and of course, he gave to include counterfeiting and other sharp practices.
Furthermore, we believe that the redesign of the currency will help deepen our drive to entrench cashless economy, as it will be complemented by increased minting of our e-naira. This will further rein in the currency outside the banking system into the banking system, thereby making monetary policy more efficacious.
Some weeks after that, the president unveiled the newly designed currency at the presidential villa. And today being the 15th of December, just as the bank had notified the general public, the new currencies are out. 1,500 and 200 Naira notes.
It's a new horizon. It's what Nigeria will be longing for. So we hope to see it come true.
I prefer the 500, the green color. It's looking like a foreign currency.
Okay, how about 200 and 1,000?
200 is good, but the 1,000 is looking somehow.
Just the color, just the color.
So are you telling me that if I give you 1,000, I will not spend it?
I will spend it now, but just like only the color, that will then change. But I like the 500 and the 200.
The redesign is good. This is because if it hadn't been done, the concerns would increase. These ones are more beautiful.
I will not fight for it, but I know it will go around. Sure, it will get to us when the time comes.
A journey to a number of ATMs show that no machine within the vicinities we've been to has been loaded, and we went into some of the banking halls, and of course the currencies were in limited supply, with assurances by banking officials that in the coming days and weeks the money distribution is going to permeate. And like so many other Nigerians, we're going to focus attention to see how the next 6 weeks will pan out, because the Central Bank of Nigeria says that by the 31st of January 2023, the official exchange window for the newly designed currencies will close. In Abuja, my name is Leah Katong Babatunde, NTA News.
Thanks, Leah. You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja. There'll be more reports in a moment.
In 20 years.
Out of this world. Get a GoTV decoder, GoTenna, and 1 month max subscriptions for only 6,900 naira. Watch all the 64 games live from Qatar on GoTV Super.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
Now, the new performance management system scheduled to take effect from the first quarter of 2023 is to institutionalize accountability and transparency in the public service. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemieson, stated this at a stakeholders engagement on the implementation of a modern performance management system as a tool for appraisal in the federal public service.
The performance management system, which replaces the annual performance evaluation report (APA), is to drive results and ensure world-class civil service for accelerated national development. The PMS is an innovative way of getting work done most efficiently and effectively, and also ensure an objective way of measuring performance. It is expected that implementation of the new performance management system will facilitate the development of an accountability-driven, result-oriented, and high performance in the civil service. This will be facilitated by the PMS framework, which linked national development plans and entrenching fairness and transparency in employee performance management.
Each employee will also have a dashboard where he or her performance can be tracked. In addition, the PMS application will be synchronized with the existing ITTIS platform for proper tracking of employee performance records.
We will systemize it and we will internalize it in our process, and we will give the service the support it requires as usual for us to be able to see the transformation of this performance management system.
The institutionalization of an effective performance management system is crucial for repositioning the federal civil service to become an effective, productive, incorruptible, and citizen-centered service. The new system, which includes reward for hard work done, objectivity in appraisal after a long period, setting target based on national and institutional strategy as well as national goals. The PMS is expected to take full effect by the first quarter of 2023, while MDAs are to do the needful towards its take-off. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
But still on accountability, this year alone, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has secured 3,615 convictions in corruption and financial crimes, with many others still under investigation and trial, while more than 134 billion naira has been recovered by the Commission. This was made known by the chairman of the Commission, Abdullahi Abdurrashid Bawa, when he featured at the 62nd session of the State House press briefing. Correspondent Jide Onifadi reports.
The president in May this year accented to 3 key anti-corruption laws, and these are the Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Act, the Anti-Terrorism Act, and the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act. EFCC Chairman Abdurrashid Bawa says with the laws, Nigeria is not only setting the pace for itself in terms of improved anti-corruption drive, the country is also leading in the drive across the sub-region, Africa, and beyond.
One of the key things that the Proceeds of Crime Act have given is the powers of non-conviction based for future. Very important. And from that time to now, I can tell you that we have recovered close to about 50 houses in Abuja alone.
It says the establishment of the Special Control Unit against money laundering domiciled in the commission is a game changer, as it is necessary to prevent and deter people in corrupt activities by blocking avenues that are being used to launder proceeds of crime.
Proceeds of Crime Act, as well as other relevant laws of public procurement, are very soon, before the end of the year, we are going to publish, auctioning of real estate, across 15 locations. And from the list that was given to me now, which is still being, worked on, we are going to dispose over 160 flats, apartments, across these 15 locations in our country.
It would be recalled that the Vice President launched the Zero Tolerance and Integrity Manual recently, and the chairman says the whole idea is a way of engaging the youth to imbibe the culture of integrity and stressing the need for robust public engagement.
And we have to carry out an audit, from our EFCC recovery account. And we paid into that account 120 billion naira and 29 million US dollars, about 6.6 million euros, as well as about 1.1 million pounds into that. And the president have sanctioned that all those monies should be utilized for what? For the provision of critical infrastructure in this country.
The session focused on the key updates and strides being made by the federal government in the core area of anti-corruption, as well as innovation that have been introduced by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to curb financial crimes and money laundering. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And what seemed like a mirage has now turned to reality as motorists are now plying the newly constructed second Niger Bridge following the temporary opening of the bridge for Yuletide by the Minister of Works and Housing, Chinyere Okoli, captured the mood of travelers and now reports.
Close to Christmas every year, many passengers and motorists are forced to sleep on the road onwards to Onitsha due to bottleneck on the old bridge, compounded by indiscipline on the part of motorists, especially commercial drivers. But today, the story has changed, courtesy of the federal government, as the second Niger Bridge has been opened for vehicular movement, but with the exception of the heavy-duty trucks. While expressing their joy to newsmen, some travelers still recall their experiences with trepidation as they expressed appreciation to the government.
Well, it has been horrible there. There's a lot of, the hold-up is very tight. Fine, it's a beautiful arrangement. I like it. You people are trying.
When I reached Tipa Joshua, they told me to divert and take the new bridge. So it's okay. It's okay.
I appreciate federal government, especially President Buhari is doing well. At least this one will ease the stress of the travelers for this fiesta period.
From what we have been passing a few years ago, this place has been a very rough area. What I mean is that the hold up, we go slow here during the festive season. Even before this festive season, like today, heavy hold up. And sometimes we have a lot of accidents here. So this second Niger Bridge, the opening of the second Niger Bridge is a welcome development.
The second Niger Bridge is going to help us, especially the congestion of this first Niger Bridge. So it's impressed.
The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, on Wednesday, 14th December, inspected the second Niger Bridge for onward usage by the masses traveling to the eastern part of the country to have smooth ride to their destinations. In Asaba, Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
Thank you, Chinyere. Some gender activists believe there is more to what women can accomplish than queuing behind the men during elections. Aside pushing for more participation in politics, there's also the clamor for domestication of gender-enhancing laws in Nigeria. Charles Alpha reports.
Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, the most comprehensive international agreement on the rights of women, is one of such gender-enhancing documents. Group of activists here are calling for full domestication to enable equal rights for women and girls.
50% of women
that are the population of a society are marginalized. How do you expect such a society to develop?
Part of the problems, well, first I would say poverty.
Women, they say, need to be allowed to play a more active role in decision making and governance. And CEDAW, when fully domesticated, will eliminate the social imbalance and economic limitations on women.
Nigerian women are capable, they are qualified, they are plenty in number. They lack the economic power. They lack the space.
But why are some gender-enhancing laws difficult to domesticate?
Most often when Nigeria signs and ratifies this document, parliamentarians are never carried along.
How can we increase women participation? The first thing to do is through sensitization.
The one-day seminar by the National Human Rights Commission and Global Network for Human Development examined factors inhibiting women participation in politics, gender disparity, and women inclusion. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari sends condolences to the family of Nigeria's ambassador to Spain, Demola Seriki, commander of the Order of the Niger, whose passing has left the government in shock. In a statement signed by Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity, President Buhari sympathizes with friends and professional colleagues of the nationalist who distinguished himself in public service, working as Minister of State Interior, Minister of State Defense, Minister of State Agriculture and Water Resources, and Supervising Minister of Mines and Steel Development. President Buhari recalls his meeting with the late ambassador and urges family members, the diplomatic corps, friends and relatives to approximate the legacies of the diplomat, especially in nation building. And on this note, we conclude the news on NTA. But before we go, do remember to keep joining NTA's campaign against rape and rapists. I'm Naja Atutijani with Kennedy Ife. Reading is very important and has lots of benefits to the individual and society because a high reading culture will impact the mentality of the citizens who carry out various functions in the country. Welcome to What Matters on NTA International. My name is Nneka Michael. The following reading culture in Nigeria is the focus of today's episode of What Matters. So stay tuned as we take you through the segments. Now, it will interest you to know that people read for different purposes, and the more people that read, the better for society. In this feature, we will look at the reasons why people read and why Nigerians' reading culture was high in the past.
Chapter 2. The beep sound of my alarm clock woke me up, and I can still feel my heart pounding from yesterday's incident. I opened my eyes in surprise. I must have slept off while swimming in my dream of thoughts yesterday.
A reading society is an educated and developed nation. Reading gives one the ability to acquire more knowledge and interpret written text or issues adequately. United Nations Statistical Review reveals that about 250 million children in the world cannot read and write, and that close to 50% of this number attended schools but lacked the skills to read. The situation is alarming in Africa, where 1 in every 4 young people cannot read. Reading is a receptive skill that gives access to a wealth of information. It is the process of looking at written text and understanding the meaning of the content.
The reason why people are reading is to acquire skills, experience, and informations and knowledge, so that they can be able to utilize those accumulated knowledge to contribute to the development of the society, or how they can contribute to the values of the society, or how to sustain themselves.
Poor reading culture, imbibed by many students, allows them to read not for the purpose of comprehension of the content of their curriculum. They read to pass a test or examination. To become an ardent reader, such a person will need to be good in vocabulary, text, fluency in speaking, and phonics. These elements help one to deepen knowledge in reading.
A lot of thoughts ran through my mind. What if the principal suspended both of us and my parents find out? What if... Are you alright, Malcolm? My mom asked me, when she found me staring at the door of my wardrobe with eyes open wide.
In addition, engaging in constant reading in print will aid ability and improvement in reading culture. Although reading culture is not rooted in African culture, because literacy in African culture is orally based. Reading culture made its entrance into Nigeria with the Arabs and Europeans who taught us how to read and write. The first efforts were blossomed by colonialism, as opportunities to be like the Europeans were inspired by reading and writing. Reading culture developed to the extent that it produced the likes of Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, John Pepper Clark, and a host of others in the literary world.
Our generation at that time, the government at that time, during the 60s, we know now our founding fathers, during the 60s, the colonial master educated them with free education. So when they came on board, they want to realize by providing free education during the 60s. So at that time, they have free education. Wole Soyinka and Zainab, they went to university, free education. There is a good environment, and there is security, good environment, and then the economy is good, is stable, and they have access to books. At that time, even free books, free uniforms. Even in universities, they give you meal tickets that you can purchase at a lower rate, and so on and so on. And thirdly, like Zainab Akali, Wole Soyinka, so on, apart from those factors that I have mentioned, for conducive learning that they have provided for them to acquire this knowledge, they themselves, they were gifted by God. Writers are gifted. You just start writing, inspiration is just coming to you. You have a voracious thinking faculties. You start writing things. It's a natural.
There are also very good reasons why they read. The number one reason is because those generations are not materialistics. They believe in the fact their value system is not distorted like the way we live it. Our value system currently is upside down. And that's really then what they believe in, their outlook to life, their understanding about life is absolutely in contradiction with what we believe now. That is number one. Number two, the era of Soyinka and all that, you find out that the value system of education is so high at that time. This time around, it's so low. Thirdly, there is what they place on knowledge. The society, what society places on knowledge is so high than now. Can I shock you that as far as this our current generation is concerned, the value system they place on is how many cars you have, the kind of houses, the dress, how popular you are, how much is in your bank account. But then it wasn't so. It was because the society value system is absolutely in tandem with with the acquisition of knowledge. But now things have really gone bad.
Reading culture is no longer what it used to be in the past. The desire has been eroded by lack of facilities and programs that are supposed to enhance reading culture in the country. As the world is moving into a digital age, only countries that read will meet up the challenges of being a digital nation. Nigeria must develop a solid reading culture among its populace in order not to be left out.
Despite embracing the English language as a general language, Nigerians in the past made good use of it by reading and writing, and along the way produced great literary icons. But how come the country is being rated low in reading culture? Our next feature will speak on that.
Act 1. In the days of old, and even now, passing common entrance examination from primary school that qualifies one to enter into junior secondary school has remained delightful and joyous to candidates yearly. Femi was so excited for being one of those that passed their entrance examination that year.
Education is one of the key structures that defines the level of development in a nation. Therefore, to achieve a viable education, the citizens must develop a profound habit in reading and writing. Reading is what makes education. It was once said that if you want to hide anything from an African, put it in a book. This statement assumes that Africans do not read and that there is a poor reading culture among Africans. According to World Culture Score Index, Nigeria is one of the countries in the world with the lowest reading culture. This dying culture is gradually eating the society like a cancer. What then are the factors affecting reading culture in Nigeria?
The reading culture started long ago. You know that with the involvement of the social media that we're having today, everything is instant, and you get your things easily, not like you used to do before, that you have to go look for a book, read, digest before you're able to get your result. Now the result is already on the internet. It's everywhere. So that was why it killed the reading culture, because when development comes, there also is advantage and disadvantage. So in this situation, the media aspect that we're having of this 21st century has killed the zeal for people to read. Okay, I can give you an example. Before, when you want to communicate to family, you write letters. You understand? You post it through the post office. Now you can do WhatsApp, you can do video calls. Everything is becoming instant. You can make calls. So that aspect also killed.
First of all, I think it's from the family, from the home front. You see, added to that, is social media. That phone in your hand has a lot of distraction. So now with this technology in our hands, with everything coming to your palm, you don't have to spend money to get information. Data is cheap. With about 100 naira, you have a lot of things in your handset that you go through. The small boy or small girl who doesn't know that reading is better than browsing the net will not read the book.
Unfortunately, poor reading culture affects academic performance of the students.
And then when you look at the school system, it keep killing the culture of getting books in the library. You understand? Because as I said to you now, there's e-library on the internet. You just go and check. So it make us lazy or make our children very lazy to read.
At 2, at the assembly ground, the principal and other staff, the VP administration and the VP academics stand before the students, addressing them as usual.
Another consequence of lack of reading culture is lack of confidence by individuals concerned. While education is said to be the philosophy of a man, lack of reading to be educated imposes an absence of that philosophy and lack of confidence to relate properly with the society. More importantly, why we should be worried about the reading culture that is dying in Nigeria is the fact that it breeds illiteracy amongst the populace. In a digital age, an illiterate society will pose a drawback to policy articulation by the government, resulting to lack of investment by investors who would not want to spend money in retraining workers for simple job specifications. The federal government Jubilee Fellows Program for Nigerian youths is one initiative established to address the consequences of poor reading culture among graduates. Many experts are of the opinion that fresh graduates are not employable, hence they should be retrained before being absorbed into job schedules.
It is not good to leave the teaching of your children to just teachers alone. Now you're looking at teachers if you talk of government. If I want to understand you. Talking of government, you are talking of teachers. No. The education starts from home. It is from home you teach your children. You leave the rest to teacher. In fact, what you leave to teacher is just small. Because one, even if the teacher will teach them subjects in school, you as a parent, you go through their books when they come back home. Even if you don't have time, do your best to once in a while you check their books. Ask them questions. If you see your child getting 2/10 in marks, because the teacher will always write it there on the page of the paper. You ask, why did you fail this one? How can you get 2 out of 10? Ask them questions. But then the parent, for example, you cannot fault a teacher who doesn't know if you don't know. There are times I tell my children, this teacher is wrong here. But don't go and be arguing with them in school, so that they don't think you are a bad child. But this is what you should have done. So it is still from home. There's nothing much government can do, because government is not in your house, so ask your child not to browse phone when the book is there to be read. It is you who is at home. So it is the home.
You encourage the lecturers, you encourage them. All this, okay, they have salary, you are discouraging them. Encourage them. Then the children, they should be strict discipline in the school. Strict discipline. Students are left on their own. They do whatever they like. In my time, it was not so. If you misbehave, they will flog you. And your parents will come to school to come and ask, why did you flog my... But today, illiterate now, the parents will come to school. They have big jeep. Come out from AC. All those are not helping matters. Let the children be disciplined. Yes. If my son tells me they beat him in school, I won't answer him. I will not. Yes, because I know they must discipline you.
It is visible that the effect of poor reading culture is already living with us. And like it is said, a stitch in time saves 9. Readdressing this ugly trend at all stages of the Nigerian for paramount.
This calls for an urgent response to address the issue. Let's go on a break. What matters? We'll be back in a moment.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
You're welcome back. Having heard from the people on the factors that have affected reading culture in Nigeria, what is the government doing to address this challenge? Our interview segment will unfold that to us.
Oh, we are doing quite a lot because we know that the reading culture actually has fallen. One of the major things we do here is, especially some of the new schools, we try as much as possible to make sure that we provide library for them, and the old ones, we try to renovate them to meet the standard of these days, and we also stock them with books, current books that will interest the students in schools.
Up to now, most parents are not interested in buying books. They are not even at home to check if the children are reading whatever they have as books. And when the students go to school, they don't concentrate, they don't think of reading. They think of music, social media activities, and all that. They are not seen with newspapers. They don't patronize the newspaper companies or whatever. But they are out to use their time and their talents in doing what will not help them as reading culture is expected.
Sometimes we provide e-learning to make sure that it interests the students to read, to improve their reading culture too. And we have some NGOs that partners with us to provide us too with e-reading, so that will also help the students too.
We have dictated poor reading culture in the students because in so many ways. One, they don't buy literature books. At the beginning of a term, the students will be given list of books, literature books to read, but they will not buy. They will just be keeping mute. If you call the parents, they will not give you a very good answer, and the argument continues. And with that, it is affecting the students. Some of them can't even read questions during it is time for exam. They can't read questions unless you read for them. And I don't think it is from the secondary school it starts. It starts from the primary.
The things the parents should also do, I'm a parent myself, is to create time to be with the children. You understand? And shut down some of the things that can take away their attention from reading. Probably you can take off their phone, give them time where they can watch the TV, give them time where also they can read their books. And you as a parent too, don't leave it only to the school. You must provide for them books that could be of interest to the students. When they come back home, they will like to read those books. You will also read with them by encouraging them. When they see you reading, they must read.
The school make available the books that are needed for the students. It's now left for the parents to come and buy. And also, the school makes it to be in the timetable. And when it is time for that, they come for library studies.
In addition to the students taking books home to read, We make sure again in our schools that we have a reading club. A reading club whereby we make sure that every child joins that reading club. And we have a lot of parents too and some NGOs donating to that club. So it's a way of making sure that the children read, get used to reading.
Glad to hear that the government is working assiduously to improve this ugly trend. In the past, Nigerians were known to read a lot. Despite being a new language, they read newspapers, books, magazines written in the English language. It was no surprise that the generation produced literary giants whose works have not been matched by present-day literary experts. Let's have a look at some of these great minds.
With the rating that Nigeria's reading culture is poor, there is a need to remind people that in the past, Nigeria attained an enviable height in reading culture, leading to the emergence of literary icons in the country. One of such is Chinua Achebe, a novelist, poet, and critic. Achebe was born on November 16, 1930, and before his death, he was recognized as the dominant figure of modern African literature. His works include Things Fall Apart and Arrow of God, among many others. Achebe died on the 31st of March 2013. Other literary icons in Nigeria are Akinwade Oluwole Soyinka. Soyinka is a Nigerian playwright, poet, novelist and political activist. He was born on July 13, 1935. His works earned him the prestigious Nobel Prize in Literature in 1986, becoming the first to receive such an award in sub-Saharan Africa. Soyinka's works include, but not limited to, The Man Died and The Trail of Brother Jero. John Pepe Clark is another great literary icon that emerged from Nigeria. He was a poet, a playwright, a critic, essayist, and journalist. Born in 1935, J.P. Clark's craftsmanship mirrored both traditional and diaspora values. Some of his works include Their America, A Reed in the Tide, Casualties, and a host of others.
The list is endless, but the significant side of it is that these people belong to the old generation, and the reading culture was high among them. As we wind up this episode, ensure you have a book to read, encourage your children to read, and our society will be better. See you next time on NTA International. Bye.
The Federal Character Commission, FCC, wishes to clarify that it is not a public employment generating agency, but an implementation organ of the Federal Character Principle. Its key mandate is the enforcement of the principle of equitable representation of all zones and regions of the country to reflect balance in recruitment and the distribution of resources. The balance targets fairness in ethnic and regional representation in all federal government ministries, departments, and agencies. At the core of FCC's mandate is the protection of the interests of all Nigerians, irrespective of ethnicity or place. Please note that the FCC is not recruiting for public agencies, as the MDAs have the mandate to do so.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Character Commission.
Welcome to Africa, a land of ancient civilization.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What
This is the network service of the NTA.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as the elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, fearless, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem with pride to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
The occasion gives cause for reflection and reminds us of the sacrifice made by our armed forces in preserving the unity of the country.
All ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal launch. Send your donations to this account. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
In a third Friday in 20 years.
This out of these roads, Yagata. Now you can get a GoTV decoder, Go turn on, and 1 month of GoTV Jolly for only 4,900 naira, and enjoy all the show-stopping games live from Qatar on GoTV.
The Girl family of Oginibo community in Hugeli South Local Government Area and Akpoduma family of Ukowin community in Idu Local Government Area, both in Delta State, announced the celebration of life of their father, grandfather, brother, and uncle, evangelist Nzeze Godwin Clement Omoyu Vrebo, also known as Sergeant Amuda Yusuf. He was aged 78. Celebration arrangement. Day of Tributes, Friday, 16th December 2022 at Oginibo Grammar School, Oginibo Town, Hugeli South Local Government Area, Delta State. Time, 12 noon. Announcer, Comrade Nzeze Rumen Yakubu Riben. For the family.
The entire family of late Diopa Raymond Nwankwo Efenioku of Idumuzu Idumuine quarters Iseluku in Anyota North Local Government Area of Delta State cordially invites the general public to the burial ceremony of our beloved father, grandfather, great-grandfather and father-in-law, late Diopa Raymond Efenioku, aged 107 years. Burial arrangements are as follows. Thursday, 15th December 2022, 5 p.m. Service of songs at his compound, Idumuzu Idumuine quarters, Anyota North Local Government Area of Delta State. Friday, 16th December 2022, 10 a.m. Funeral service and interment at his compound, Idumuzu Idumuine quarters, Iseluku. Entertainment follows immediately at Obutu Primary School. Saturday, 17th December 2022, 9 a.m. Thanksgiving service at the Assemblies of God Church, Iseluku, opposite OK Pharmacy, Obowele. Signed, Pastor Franklin C. Efenioku, for the family. Service at the Assemblies of God Church, Iseluku.
But it is far beyond our expectations.
The secretary of Odile House.
My mouth is full of appreciation to Federal Mortgage Bank.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on the program. Everyone deserves a home. The Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme is a product of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, initiated by the Ministry of Works and Housing, which supervises the FMBN as another way of bridging the housing gap in the country. Thanks to the scheme, many NHF contributors are today homeowners. Jos, Plateau State, houses one of the projects under the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme, where 150 housing units are being developed for NHF contributors in the state. Details of this project is our focus on the episode tonight. Also coming up in the program is the story of an NHF contributor who has benefited from the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme in another state. Our other segments of news and frequently asked questions will complete this package. Please join me after this short break to commence the program fully.
Let's go. Hold the chair
Huh? What is it again?
Oga, and they drive this car, my mind no dey. My landlord is on my neck.
Your landlord again. I thought I have told you this before. Get a mortgage, register with NHF scheme, and get a home upfront. What is so difficult about this?
Oga, I will do just that. See, I will shame that my landlord. Mortgage.
At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home.
We will open the episode with highlights of major events that happened recently at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. In the lineup, University of Maiduguri alumni pays courtesy visit to the FMBN. Details of this and other stories in our news diary. Stay with us.
The University of Maiduguri Alumni Association FCT chapter has paid a courtesy visit to the Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to congratulate the Managing Director, also an alumnus of the university, on his appointment as the Managing Director of the bank. President of the FCT chapter of the association congratulated him on his appointment and pledged the support of the association in helping him achieve success in his tenure as Managing Director of the bank. He called on the FMBN to support the association in delivering houses for members of the association.
There's any partnership or anything that we can also do in terms of housing for our members and all that, we'll also be very glad to deliver that to our members. I'm sure that will be the greatest benefit, that we will have one of ours leading such a very important organization. Yes, sir. So we're here to work with you and to wish you all the best.
The president also called on the FMBN to support the association in its developmental programs for the university.
We even had the annual general congress meeting that we had in March, where we had a lot of participation. And at that event, we decided to see what we can do to the university. And the project we identified was try to see if we can install solar systems to the university. The university itself is actually crying, so we just felt that that particular area is somewhere that we can actually make an impact. In fact, there was a time we saw videos and pictures of students reading under streetlights, and we felt that that is not befitting.
Managing Director of the bank, Moduhamman, while speaking, thanked the association for the visit. He restated the bank's readiness to provide housing for any individual or group who are contributors to the National Housing Fund scheme. The Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Moduhamman, has commended the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, for playing a pivotal role in promoting the cause of the National Housing Fund scheme by partnering with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Ahmed, who was represented by the zonal manager, Lagos, Malam Ibrahim Napada, was speaking at the second edition of NECA's annual Employers Award, which held recently in Lagos. The managing director also commended the association for the award exercise, describing it as a worthy exercise of rewarding the excellence of outstanding employers. He added that the award is leading the way for other employers to imbibe the culture of rewarding commitment, hard work, and dedication of employees. This, he says, culminates into delivering excellence. He said the role of the association cannot be underestimated in a productive economy. He therefore called on the association to put in more efforts to ensure the productivity of employees.
Glad to have you back. Coming up next is Project in Focus, and in this episode, we will be looking at another project funded by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria under the Ministerial Pilot Housing Fund scheme in Jos, the Plateau State capital. At the completion of the project, will become homeowners. How is this project going, and what is the bank doing to ensure that this project is delivered in good time? Let's find out in our next segment, Project in Focus.
The Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme is one of the products of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. This product is different from others because it is a product initiated by the Ministry of Works and Housing. It was designed to provide affordable housing for contributors of the National Housing Fund scheme. How it works is that the ministry makes land available for the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to provide funding to build houses at a cheap rate for low and medium income earning contributors. Since its inception, the product has recorded huge success and has since provided shelter to a large number of contributors.
The Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme is it's actually a scheme that was developed together with the parent ministry, our parent ministry, which is the Ministry of Works and Housing. So, because in order to develop houses to reduce the deficit in housing in the country, the ministry now thought it right to partner with the bank and see to it that developers are getting access to funding from the bank. So they profile developers and recommend the developers to the bank for funding. So that is under that scheme. So that scheme had been quite successful, and we've done quite a number of them across the country. So these developers will now in turn, initially when the project started, the ministry have land in various states of the federation. So they donate those land on behalf of the developers to be able to develop on that.
This is Public Housing Estate located in Lamingo, Jos, Plateau State. This estate is being developed under the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme. The project is for 150 housing units, 63 units comprising 33 units of 3-bedroom detached bungalows, 6 units of 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalows, and 24 units of 1-bedroom bungalows are currently at advanced stages of construction.
This is a ministerial pilot scheme, and the intention of it was to construct 150 units. However, what is on ground now, they have produced up to 63 units. The 63 units are made up of 3-bedroom. We have 33 units of 3-bedroom, fully detached. We have 6 units of 2-bedroom, semi-detached. And then we have 24 units of 1-bedroom, altogether making a total of 63 units.
2 tranches out of the 4 of the total sum for the construction have already been disbursed to bring the project to this level. When the disbursement is complete, all 150 units would have been completed with infrastructure.
You can see, and that line they are here to construct that line, and then there are other spaces over there that are here to construct. That we believe that by the time they disburse the 4 tranches, the project will be completed, and then we will have that 150 units. If you can see, we have the light. You can see the poles that they have laid the poles. Now they are connecting the lights, and you see the houses. By the time they finish, they will connect it, or the road network will be there, and then there will be borehole that will be supplying water to the estates as well. And they will also connect to Plateau State Water Board. So by the time it is finished, all the social amenities will be connected so that the occupant will enjoy the social amenities of the estate.
The project is being supervised according to FMBN standards, both internally by the contractors and by the bank.
The FMBN has a team of supervisors. They normally come for supervision to see that the quality is maintained, and then we also have to make sure that within the period that the money is disbursed, they're supposed to finish the DC within the limited time, so that we will make sure that they finish within the period, and then allocate to the people who are intending to have the properties on ground.
The project, when completed, will be made available to off-takers via the rent-to-own window for NHF beneficiaries.
The intention of the bank is to use it for home rent-to-own. By the time it is finished, we will use it for rent-to-own. There are a lot of obstacles. There are people who have been coming, people who are working with the state government, the federal government, and who they have the intention of getting these houses. They have been coming. The essence of rent-to-own is for us to give them the form, they will fill the forms, and then we will look at their outstanding periods. What we mean is that their residual periods that they are left with to retire, assuming they have worked for maybe 20 years now, they are left with 10 years or 15 years to be 5 years in service. Then we will use the 5 years, we will use the 15 years in service. Then the 15 years that are remaining. Then we will look at the total cost of the construction. We will factor in the 7% interest rate, and then divide equally by the remaining period in service. And then they are expected to pay for the remaining years in service.
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amen.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now, you need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
If you're just joining us, you're watching Everyone Deserves a Home, a program of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria as it makes houses and mortgages available for Nigerians. Talking about average Nigerians owning houses through mortgages, we will share the story of an NHF beneficiary who got a house under the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme project in Kano. This is coming up in our next segment, Dream Come True.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply, once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is real. It's a big testimony to stop paying rents.
Excellent. Seriously excellent. It worked and it's real.
Joshua Echoda is an estate surveyor and valuer. As someone who works in the housing sector, he has always known about the National Housing Fund scheme and how it works. This alone gave him the motivation to apply for a housing loan as soon as the opportunity presented itself. He now owns a beautiful 3-bedroom detached bungalow at the Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme, Kano State.
Everybody knows that being a tenant, it's not a palatable experience. So everybody is actually looking forward to owning a house, either outright or through mortgage, be it rent to own or other available scheme. So we're going to find out from the developers, which are Al-Mukab Dynamics Limited, that there are houses here that is under construction and it's for mortgage, and the package available then is rent to own. I actually got a 3-bedroom at 8.8 million naira. Though the estate is located at an outskirts of Kano Metropolis, so the developers actually did what we call value addition to make the place safe and serene.
ESV Echoda tells us what he loves about the estate and some of the facilities he enjoys using in the estate.
Basically, the major facility is the perimeter fence. We know Nigeria as it is right now. You cannot do anything without security. So, and to God be the glory, we've been here for 2 years and we never had any issue of security breach because of the general perimeter fence, as well as the security personnel put in place for the facility. You can see my compound is very, very serene, as well as the general estate. We have gardeners, we have cleaners, and we have the people manning the water supply for the estate through the main source, as well as generator and solar to power the water. Then we'll have the general street lights, which is actually not part of the mortgage arrangement. This is the arrangement that the developer put in place to make sure that the estate is always lit as soon as the sun goes down.
He has lived in his house with his wife and kids for about 2 years. He's particularly glad that he does not have to be bothered about issues of rent and landlords.
The experience of being a homeowner is priceless. Knowing fully well that you don't have any landlord anywhere knocking at your door, that your rent has expired. Plus, there are modifications that you can do to your house, which is in tandem with what the developer has put in place, like the individual perimeter fence, as well as the landscaping, as you can see, the car park and the interlocking. So this gives you both extrinsic and intrinsic value. You have an inner joy anytime you drive into your compound, knowing fully well that this is yours. There is no notice coming from anybody anywhere.
Mr. Ichoda got his house at the cost of 8.8 million naira only. The flexibility of the repayment makes the scheme even more beautiful for him.
The repayment process, it covers a ceiling of 30 years, and you have, if say for example you are 42 like I am, you have 18 years to pay off. So me not being a typical civil servant, want to pay in the shortest time possible. You understand? Probably say 5-10 years max, as against maximizing the entire 18 years.
Yeah, we are coming. Okay,
Joshua Ichoda, who got his house through the rent-to-own scheme, describes the scheme as a wonderful package. He encourages NHF contributors yet to subscribe to the scheme to give it a trial.
My word to Nigerians is There are no magic. There are no need for connection. There are no need for Godfather. All you need to do is just to walk up to any mortgage office in your state, of which the entire 36 states in the federation has an office. Go to the branch office, ask the basic questions, and if there are projects ongoing in the state or in the neighboring state, you could be guided and you become a happy owner like myself.
He lauds the scheme because he says it has given him the opportunity to live among and rub minds with great people.
Our question for the week is, do I need to begin NHF contributions afresh if I change jobs?
Even when you change job, your previous contribution is intact. There's nothing that happens to it. It's in our records. What is required of you is to approach the nearest Federal Mortgage Bank branch in where you are domiciled or staying. Then there is a form that will give you where you will give information on where you are working, you understand, and where you left. Federal Mortgage Bank will use that data you provide so that it will be updated. Then your employer also will be rightly be informed. What is unique is that you have what we call the NHF participation number. That one does not change, it's maintained. So what we only do is to match your records in the former place you are working with the present place of work. So nothing happens. Your financial records are intact as far as the bank is concerned.
And that's it on our package on this episode of the program. Remember that the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is ready to make houses and mortgages available for every contributor to the National Housing Fund, and that every Nigerian in the public or private sector can become a contributor to the fund. To find out how you can become a contributor, please visit any FMBN branch office in your state or visit the website on www.fmbn.gov.ng. You can also watch this and other episodes of the program on our social media handles currently showing on your screen. Join me again next week, same time, same station, for another edition of the program. Do have a pleasant night rest.
From the National Information Technology Development Agency in NIDA. This is NIDA Impact, your guide to a digital Nigeria.
The Nigerian Startup Bill has been signed into law and is now officially the Nigerian Startup Act, Act number 32 of 2022. It is an act to establish the National Council for Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship, provide for the creation and development of an enabling environment for technology-enabled startups in Nigeria, and for related matters. On today's episode, we are looking at the Nigerian Startup Act, providing an institutional and legal framework for the startup ecosystem in Nigeria. I am Kinyese Wabuke, and this is NIDA Impact.
This is NIDA Impact, your guide to a digital Nigeria.
You can be a part of this program by logging onto our website at www.neta.gov.ng or our social media handles displayed right on your screen. Let's begin with what's making the news headlines this week. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, DG NITA, speak on tech and taxation in Nigeria at Qatar conference. DG NITA calls for synergy among stakeholders for educational development. Plus, NITA organizes Southwest Stakeholders Engagement in Ibadan, Oyo State. And now the news proper. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration has taken steps to encourage businesses to thrive and attract more foreign investments. He disclosed this while declaring open the 42nd Annual Technical Conference of the Commonwealth Association of Tax Administrators, Qatar, in Abuja. NITA Impact correspondent Gabriel Ono reports that the conference featured panel discussions where the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITA, Kashifu Iniwa CCIE, shared perspectives on how technology can be used to address issues surrounding taxation.
The 42nd Annual Technical Conference of the Commonwealth Association of Tax Administrators, Qatar, was hosted in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, by the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS). In his opening address, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said Nigeria was delighted to host the conference at this critical time. According to him, the Buhari administration has taken steps to encourage businesses to thrive and attract more foreign investments, adding that Nigeria was ready to provide frank discussions on issues that affect the global economy.
This conference presents an opportunity to exchange ideas on sustainable financing for government programs and development initiatives without undue reliance on borrowing and debt financing. Therefore, I trust that you will have a robust conversation and that will come up with useful recommendations that can be used in this regard.
The Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, noted that the choice of Nigeria to host the event was not by accident, as Nigeria has made giant strides on issues of taxation.
This discussion will be underpinned by strong partnership and mutual benefit. I also call on this conference to focus on solutions, sharing experiences that have succeeded, and also to apply the success to the tax administration of the digital era.
Speaking at a panel discussion, Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, Kashifu Iniwa CCIE, shared insight on digitalization and digitization and how technology can be used to address issues surrounding taxation. The DG further explained that NIDA, as a clearinghouse for all IT infrastructure in Nigeria, provides advisory services to MDAs.
We need to be mindful of the information we collect, the taxpayers' information, especially the personal information, because there is this say that says anybody that has control over your data, the person will control you, because the person can manipulate you. So we need to protect our taxpayers' information, and this is everybody's business, not only the tax commission, the government, other security agencies, everybody's security is everybody's business. And also, the more we collaborate, the better for us.
The conference had the theme, Tax Administration in the Digital Era, and drew participants from the 47 Commonwealth countries. Gabriel Ono, reporting for NIDA Impact.
Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITA, Kashifu Iniwa CCIE, has reiterated the need for synergy among agencies of the government in order to achieve the objectives of the present administration. The Director General stated this while participating as a panelist at the Huawei Education Summit, organized by Huawei Technologies at the International Conference Center, Abuja. NITA Impact Senior Correspondent Sophia Ogeze tells us more.
Despite the numerous challenges confronting education in Nigeria, many are still optimistic that these challenges can be surmounted. It is against this backdrop that Huawei Technologies Limited organizes Education Summit, which drew participants from government agencies, the academia, and the general public. Panel discussions bordering on key issues affecting the effective use of technology in teaching and learning was center of discussion. Among the panelists was the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Kashfu Inuwa CCIE, represented by the Director of IT Infrastructure Solutions, Dr. Usman Gambo Abdullahi. The DJ, through the panel discussion, gave insight on how to build innovation culture in tertiary institutions.
We have to be strategic in the way we enable innovation to happen within our institutions. And we can do that through partnership and collaboration. There are institutions that are willing and that have resources. We know we have limitation in terms of resources in particular. But if we are able to identify partners, we should be able to drive that and be able to achieve our. We have to be able to build capacity. Capacity of all players, from the top to the bottom. And that has to be strategic as well.
Other speakers at the panel also provided perspective from their various professional areas on building innovation culture in tertiary institutions, use of ICT in higher education management system, amongst others. The two-day summit had a theme, developing Nigerian ICT talent ecosystem through Huawei training program and projects. Sophia Ogezi, reporting for NIDA Impact.
Meanwhile, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has organized a stakeholders engagement in Ibadan, Oyo State capital, to deepen its relationship with stakeholders in the tech ecosystem within the Southwest Geopolitical Zone. In his address at the event, Director General of the agency, Kashifu Inuwa CTIE, said, NITDA gives premium priority to its stakeholders as it is poised to deliver value to them. NITDA Impact correspondent has details.
Having organized similar stakeholders engagements in Lagos and Kano, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, in collaboration with the Oyo State government, organized this one in Ibadan, the state capital, with participants drawn from Oyo, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti states. According to the Director General of the agency, Kashifu Inuwa CCIE, represented by the Director, Zonal Offices Directorate, Mr. Babajide Ajayi, the meeting had two key objectives: to offer stakeholders the opportunity to express their views and opinion on matters related to the agency's implementation of its mandate, and to establish sustainable collaboration and consistent channels of feedback and the exchange of ideas.
We therefore hope that today's event and the whole program of stakeholder engagement across the country will provide fresh understanding and idea on how we can deliver more impactful value to Nigerians. We therefore view this meeting as a veritable platform to pool knowledge, experience, and expertise, and to co-create solutions, articulate strategies, and extend our services to all stakeholders, especially at the grassroots.
On his part, Special Advisor to Oyo State Governor on ICT and e-governance, Honorable Bayo Akonde, spoke on the digitalization process in Oyo State and lauded NIDA for organizing the stakeholders meeting.
We've worked on things such as the ICT hub in Lautech, where people can come and get skills in robotics and electronics. We're also carrying out several trainings of youth in digital skills to be able to empower them.
The stakeholders meeting had the theme creating opportunities, breaking boundaries towards digitalization and entrepreneurial evolution, and would also be replicated in Kwara, Sokoto, and Enugu State. Gabriel Ono, reporting for NIDA Impact.
This is NIDA Impact, your guide to a digital Nigeria.
Time now for NITA's cybersecurity updates.
Identity fraud and how to protect against them is what we're going to share with you on this week's cybersecurity update. I am Mansur Aliyu Hassan and thank you for joining us. Identity theft is a process, situation or event in which a fraudster obtains enough information about another person's identity, such as their given name, birth date, residential address, contact address, social security numbers, or any other type of personal identifiable information to commit identity fraud. The use of stolen identity in criminal activity to obtain goods or services by deception is also known as identity fraud. The stolen information can be used to apply for loans and purchase products and services in the victim's name. Sometimes, the imposter might conduct illegal and incriminating transactions with the victim's credentials, leaving trails of criminal records and arrest warrants for the victim. Fraudsters can use their stolen identity details to open bank accounts, obtain credit cards, seek loans and state benefits. Other goods in your name, take over your existing accounts, take out mobile phone contacts, obtain genuine documents such as passports and driving licenses in your name. To protect yourself against identity theft and fraud, here are some tips to guide you. Properly dispose of utility bill, credit or debit card slips, bank statements or even unwanted mail in your name. Dispose of unwanted documents, ideally with a shredder. Never hand out personal information or account information to anyone who contacts you unexpectedly, even if they claim to be from your bank. Remain skeptical. If you are anticipating a bank statement or a credit or debit card statement and it does not arrive, notify your bank or card issuer. Never use the same password for many accounts, and never use banking credentials for other websites. Using several passwords boosts security and reduces the likelihood that someone will gain access to other accounts. That's all we have for you this week. Stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.
This is Niger Impact, your guide to a digital Nigeria.
This week's special report is on the Nigerian Startup Act, providing an institutional and legal framework for the startup ecosystem in Nigeria.
As far as tech is concerned, Nigeria is one of the fastest rising nations in the world. Thousands of Nigerian talents have developed tech solutions and innovations that the world is currently in awe of. That is why Nigeria takes more than a third of all tech investments in Africa. With almost $2 billion in tech investments coming to Nigeria in 2021, it is almost certain that the tech investments will reach $5 billion by the end of 2022. Notable figures around the world, including tennis royalty and living legend Serena Williams, have invested in the Nigerian tech ecosystem. Nigeria is the home of unicorn companies such as Flutterwave, Jumia, and Interswitch. There is no country in the entire continent that comes close. Nigeria owns nearly all the unicorn companies in Africa. For these reasons, Nigeria needed an institutional approach to the matters relating to digital startups and the development of the tech ecosystem, as well as the motivation for further creation and growth in the number of digital startups in the country. Unfortunately, many startups in the past have simply fizzled out, and NIDA has seen the imperative to change the narrative as quickly as possible. This the agency has targeted to change with the redesign and removal of aggressive government policies, regulatory bottlenecks, oversaturation of startups in select locations, talent dearth, high cost of doing business, funding challenges, and the likes. This is why NIDA, in collaboration with the presidency and all relevant stakeholders in the tech space, have developed meticulously the Nigerian Startup Act to brush up on the gray areas in Nigeria's tech ecosystem. The Nigerian Startup Bill has been signed into law and is now officially the Nigerian Startup Act, Act number 32. It is an act to establish the National Council for Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship, provide the creation and development of an enabling environment for tech-enabled startups in Nigeria, and for related matters. The objectives of this act are to provide a legal and institutional framework for the development of startups in Nigeria, provide an enabling environment for the establishment, development, and operation of startups in Nigeria, provide for the development and growth of tech-related talents, and position Nigeria's startup ecosystem as a leading digital technology center in Africa,
having excellent innovators with cutting-edge skills and exportable capacity. The Act applies to companies incorporated under the Companies and Allied Matters Act and granted the startup label in accordance with the provisions of this Act, and the organizations and establishments whose activities affect the creation, support, and incubation of labeled startups in Nigeria. Investors around the world are watching the Nigerian ecosystem with keen interest. It is apparent that the Startup Act will cause improved investments in the sector. The Italian Startup Act is a good example. It attracted an investment of 34 million euros into Italian startup ecosystem between 2012 and 2015, following the introduction of a Startup Act. On the 19th of October 2022, Nigeria's Senate passed the bill into law and the Nigerian Startup Act came to life. This also marks the establishment of the National Council for Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship, simply referred to as the Council in the Act. The Council has the functions to formulate and provide general policy guidelines for the realization of the objectives of this Act, give overall directions for the harmonization of laws and regulations that affect a startup, approve the programs of the Secretariat established under this Act, and ensure the monitoring and evaluation of regulatory framework to encourage the development of startups in Nigeria. The Council will also monitor and ensure the implementation of the policies and programs of the Secretariat, support digital technological development through grants to persons, research institutions, and universities pursuing postgraduate programs in the areas of science, technology, and innovation, make, alter, or revoke rules and regulations for carrying out the functions of the Secretariat, subject to the provisions of this Act, appoint a council agent to carry out such functions as the council may require, and perform other functions as are necessary or expedient, to ensure the efficient performance of the functions of the Secretariat and other bodies established under this Act. The Council has the power to review policies and directives of ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, which may affect the operation, establishment, and investments in a startup, and regulate its proceedings and make standing orders with respect to the holding of its meetings, notices to be given, the keeping of minutes of its proceedings, and such other matters as the Council may determine. Interestingly, 4 members of the startup ecosystem will sit on the National Council together with the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, the Minister responsible for Finance, Budgets, and National Planning, and the Minister responsible for Industry, Trade, and Investment. Other members are the Minister for Science, Technology, and Innovation, the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Director General of NIDA, a representative of the Nigeria Computer Society, and a representative of the Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria. The way the council is structured is in a manner that includes all the aspects of Nigeria's governance that are relevant to the success of the startup ecosystem in Nigeria.
Today we bring you the concluding part of basic Microsoft Word skills. Use dark mode in MS Word to avoid eye strain. Use a different color theme if you have sensitive eyes or prefer a different look than your bright white and blue default. You have the opportunity to change to a more mellow sepia color scheme or use the dark inverse theme to make pages easier to read for you. No need to worry, the documents remain the same for everyone else.
This is Niger Impact, your guide to a digital Nigeria.
Up next is Innovation Hub.
vision is to take out every single gasoline-driven vehicles and introduce the electric-driven types, ranging from the tri to a big vehicles that are used for delivery and for intrafacility shuttle systems that convey people through government houses, schools, hospitals, and so on. In the next 5 years, we hope to have established solidly in the East here, and then start working towards reaching to other states in the country. Our plans of scaling up is collaboration, working with the right people, the right organizations. Already we have completed arrangements to partner with various technologies in developing the business and growing it. They will give us the leverage we need to establish solar charging stations everywhere we operate and to reach out to greater networks across the world. We participated in the NISA Startup Friday, and it was an awesome experience. It was very educating.
This is Niger Impact, your guide to a digital Nigeria.
Stakeholders are definitely optimistic because the Nigeria Startup Act has been structured in a manner that incorporates all the aspects of developmental regulations that are relevant to the success of the startup ecosystem in Nigeria. To learn more on how you can benefit from our activities, kindly log on to our website at www.nita.gov.ng or our social media handles displayed right on your screen. Until we come your way next time, our special appreciation goes to the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami, the Director General of NITA, Kashifu Inuwa CCIE, and the entire management and staff of NITA for this program. I am Kinyese Wabuke. Thanks for watching.
A country endowed with abundant natural resources, one that recognizes that its core strength lies in its massive human capital and its huge population, the fulcrum of its enormous manpower reserve. This is a country that belongs to all Nigerians, irrespective of tribe, language, or religion. And that is why the federal character principle is central to Nigeria's unity. By ensuring balance, fairness, and equity in recruitment into the federal public service and the distribution of national resources. And that is the golden rule for those vested with the responsibility of enforcing that principle at the Federal Character Commission. The mandate is to build the ideal Nigeria, a nation that is fair to all Nigerians.
Men do not like overconfident women.
Don't touch me without my permission.
I'm a playful guy and I do get carried away sometimes.
You are selfish, manipulative, and you are a narcissist.
That's all I've done for you.
What have you done for me? She called me Barry.
You know my mom doesn't know any better, right? You say that now, but then when you see your mother, you start to act like you're deaf and dumb. You were supposed to be more careful. I've been. Clearly not enough.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. Go do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. Come on, yeah. Africa, rise up. Yes, we gon' rise up. Africa, rise up. Africa, rise up. Yes, we gon' rise up. Africa, rise up.
"24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
U.S. President Joe Biden applauds President Buhari's commitment to constitutionality in Nigeria's democratic enterprise. Youth-led travel, relief and excitement as second Niger Bridge opens to commuters. Plus, new Naira notes. Correspondent looks at availability. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stover in Abuja. Michael Olale will join us from Lagos. And you can follow this news live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now, and other social media platforms displayed on the screen. U.S. President Joe Biden has expressed absolute confidence in the ability of President Muhammadu Buhari to supervise the conduct of free, fair, and credible elections in 2023. At a strategic meeting with leaders of 6 African countries facing elections next year, the U.S. leader particularly lauded President Buhari for demonstrating a high sense of commitment to constitutionality in Nigeria's democratic enterprise. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has details.
Apart from President Muhammadu Buhari, the high-level meeting with the U.S. President Joe Biden was also attended by his counterparts from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Gabon, Liberia, Madagascar, and Sierra Leone. Discussions held behind closed doors centered on the forthcoming elections in their respective countries and sustainable democracy in Africa. The meeting, President Biden said, is not about the U.S. raising the alarm bell or claiming to be having concerns and solutions, rather to encourage them towards ensuring that balloting is free and fair in their countries.
He singled out Nigeria and Mr. President for praise. These countries have their representatives, their ambassadors in Nigeria, and who are seeing that, Mr. President has never sought to interfere or to manipulate elections and election results. And of course, this has been seen in the recent past with governorship elections, in which the ruling party candidates have not won. And, and Mr. President has welcomed those results and, as the people speaking. And I think the international community now recognizes that he really is a Democrat, not just in words, but in action. It's a recognition of the legacy of Mr. President, which is a non-interference in the electoral processes, and that votes will count and count decisively.
President Biden told the African leaders that his administration is prepared to do everything it can towards supporting the forthcoming elections in their countries being free, fair, and credible.
President Biden, I think, was talking about enabling environment for democracy to flourish. Things like education, health, and all those quality of life, issues that contributes to, a society being prosperous and therefore able to make the democracy thrive. And job creation, and just the economic support and other aspects, and so he feels that in those areas where the U.S. can support, that they certainly would do so.
During the engagement, President Buhari restated his commitment to not only credible elections in Nigeria, but also a smooth transition to the next administration as a matter of obligation. He commended the United States for continuously supporting Nigeria's democratic enterprise, which he said will not be taken for granted. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden of the United States says improving Africa's infrastructure is central to his administration's vision of building a stronger global economy that can better withstand the kind of shocks witnessed in the past few years. Consequently, the president announced a $350 billion investment package for what he called Digital Transformation with Africa initiative, aimed at ensuring that people across the continent participate actively in digital economy. This was while addressing the U.S.-Africa Business Forum as part of the ongoing Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C., from where Adam Musambu again reports.
My administration's engagement with Africa and the priority we place on these relationships began on day one. Because when Africa succeeds, the United States succeeds. Quite frankly, the whole world succeeds as well.
The U.S.-Africa Business Forum, attended by President Muhammadu Buhari and dozens of other heads of state and government, has as its theme partnering for a prosperous and resilient future. It is aimed at advancing two-way trade and investment partnerships that bolster Africa's role in the global economy, scale innovation and entrepreneurship, as well as drive advancements in critical economic sectors.
Together, we want to build a future of opportunity where no one is left behind. Today, I'm announcing that the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation is investing nearly $370 million in new projects, $100 million to increase the reliable, clean energy for millions of people in sub-Saharan Africa, $20 million to provide financing for fertilizer, to help smallholder farmers, particularly women farmers, increase the yields of their crops. $10 million to support small and medium-sized enterprises that help bring clean drinking water to communities all across the continent.
Africa's economic transition, President Biden said, depends largely on good governance, healthy populations, and reliable as well as affordable energy. And the United States is committed to supporting every aspect of inclusive growth on the continent.
The United States is signing an historic memorandum of understanding with the new African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. This MOU will unlock new opportunities for trade and investment between our countries and bring Africa and the United States even closer than ever. This is an enormous opportunity for Africa's future, and the United States wants to help make those opportunities real. 1.3 billion people and a continent-wide market totaling $3.4 trillion.
During the forum, attended by business leaders from across the United States and Africa, several deals were signed as a concrete proof of an enduring commitment towards cementing new kind of partnerships between the United States and Africa that will spur shared success.
I think the U.S.'s focus has been on moving the relationship with the continent from one of aid to one of trade, and then moving from trade to investment. And today they announced a $300 billion commitment via the IDC, which has been restructured, and now they want to make equity investments across the world with a big focus on Africa because of the opportunities. I think that we must commend our president, President Muhammad Buhari, who has led a solid initiative to project the country on the international stage, and that's a big plus. And I think with initiatives of this nature, when the commitments the U.S. is making materialize into actual investments into the continent, Nigeria will get a large share of those investments. Afrexim today signed a $500 million commitment. African Finance Corporation, which is also Nigeria-based, also signed a $500 million commitment. So at least, when it's not just a talk show, people are walking away from here with bankable documents in their hands, and we're all looking forward to the deployment of these funds.
The U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit continues. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And for news back in Nigeria, it was relief and excitement as commuters rode through the second Niger Bridge for the first time, following its temporary opening by the federal government. Uchenna Nwekoyo reports.
It was usually a hectic experience crossing to Onitsha from the western part of Nigeria, especially during the Christmas and New Year festivities. For 34-year-old Israel Akubeze and other commuters, it is a huge relief that after several years of hearing about the second Niger Bridge, it is now a reality.
We thank the government and every other person that is involved in making this come true.
I mean, I'm from Asaba. It took me like, I don't know, less than 5 minutes to get here to this point, which is on the usual bridge. We're talking upwards of 2 hours on a good day. We're very happy, we're very excited, and we're grateful to God. This is like a gift to the Southeast.
It's a very good experience. At least the road is free, and they did a solid work here.
In my adult life, I know that this project has been on the drawing board for many years, and the previous government refused to do it. So we must give credit to the current government that actually started it.
The federal government opened for traffic the second Niger Bridge for 30 days, beginning from 15th of December to alleviate the sufferings of motorists who are usually trapped in traffic gridlock on the existing bridge.
We have not started collecting toll. Nobody should collect money from you to use this bridge until later we will finish in the new year. So this period, free.
For Akubeze and other motorists, riding through the bridge makes driving much more easier and enjoyable in Onitsha. Uchenna Nwekoyo, NTA News.
What seems like a mirage has now turned to reality as motorists are seen plying the newly constructed second Niger Bridge following its temporary opening. Chinyere Okoli, who captured the mood of travelers, reports that such a move will ease the horrible encounter experienced by commuters during the festive season.
Close to Christmas every year, many passengers and motorists are forced to sleep on the road onwards to Onitsha due to bottleneck on the old bridge, compounded by indiscipline on the part of motorists, especially commercial drivers. But today, the story has changed, courtesy of the federal government, as the second Niger Bridge has been opened, but with the exception of the heavy-duty trucks. While expressing their joy to newsmen, some travelers still recall their experiences with trepidation as they expressed appreciation to the government.
Fine, it's a beautiful arrangement. I like it.
When I reached Tipa Junction, they told me to divert and take the new bridge. So it's okay. It's okay.
I appreciate federal government, especially President Buhari is doing well. At least this one will ease the stress of the travelers for this fiesta period.
From what we have been passing a few years ago, this place has been a very rough area. What I mean is that the hold up, we go slow here during the festive season. Even before this festive season, like today, if you hold up, and sometimes we have a lot of accidents here. So this second Niger Bridge, the opening of the second Niger Bridge is a welcome development.
The second Niger Bridge is going to help us, especially the congestion of this first Niger Bridge.
The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, on Wednesday, 14th December, inspected the second Niger Bridge in Asaba Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
Some politics now. The APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Senator Aishatu Ahiru Ahmed Binani, says she will add value to the lives of the people in Adamawa State through result-oriented projects and programs. She stated this at the flag-off of the construction of township roads in Gombe local government area of the state. Nafisatu Abdulhamid Dembos reports.
Gombe Township roads has suffered neglect for years, exposing both the residents and commuters to untold hardship. Respite has now come to them with the award and flag off of the road construction by the APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Senator Aishatu Ahiru Ahmed Binani. He said the project will, among other benefits, open up access for investment opportunity and improve the socio-economic well-being of the people. Aishatu Ahiru Ahmed Binani said the project marks the beginning of the reconstruction of all major roads in Gombe because of its economic potentials and historical background.
It is an APC promise that when come into power, inshallah, dividend of Gombe local government will receive dividend of democracy.
The district head of Guyaku, Usman Ibrahim, thanked the senator for the giant project towards ameliorating the sufferings of the people in Gombe. When completed, the road is expected to bring development and improve economic activities in the area. Meanwhile, Senator Aishatu Ahiru Ahmed Binani has commiserated with the victims of fire disaster in Jambutu, Yola North, which destroyed property worth millions of naira and prayed Allah to avert future occurrence. In Yola, Nafisatu Abdulhamid Dembos, NTA News.
And you're watching NTA Network News. Still ahead. Monitor the availability of new Naira notes. Stay with us.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), in collaboration with the National Broadcast Commission (NBC), Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC), Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria (ACON), and the Nigerian Police Force is hosting a stakeholders summit on political campaign financing and vote buying as we approach the 2023 general elections. Those invited to attend are the chairman of all political parties, candidates in the 2023 general elections, chief executive officers of broadcast stations, and the press. The summit is scheduled to hold on Monday, 19th December 2022. Venue: NAF Conference Center, Ahmadu Bello Way, Jabi, Abuja. Time: 10 a.m. prompt. Speakers at the summit are Chairman INEC, DG NBC, Executive Chairman EFCC, Chairman ICPC, DG ACON, and the Inspector General of Police. Balarebe Shehu Ilela, Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, Announcer.
Introducing an all-time mega offer. Get over 50% discount in the Airtel Home Broadband mega offer. Buy a router for just 10,000 naira and get up to 240 gigabyte or a MiFi for 5,000 naira and get up to 125 gigabyte bonus data. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband bar.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has fixed Monday 12th December 2022 to Sunday 22nd January 2023 as the dates for the collection of PVCs nationwide from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, including Saturdays and Sundays. All registrants who are yet to collect their PVCs or requested for transfer of registration, as well as those who applied for replacement of lost or damaged PVCs, can now visit INEC local government offices where they intend to vote to collect their PVCs. Collection of PVCs will be further extended to ward level for those who are unable to collect theirs at local government offices from Friday 6th to Sunday 15th January 2023. Thereafter, the exercise will be reverted to the local government offices of the INEC until Sunday 22nd January 2023. Remember, only those with PVC can vote on election day. Collect your PVC now to vote. It is your duty. This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
And supported by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP.
Feed me a Risco tomato instead. I go give you imported tomato. Be like saying that people like you, the wicked our country people. You see this Risco, big chicken or nachico, They take correct natural ingredients, make them. If not made in Nigeria, like a Risco, get many benefits. It help grow our economy. When you put them inside mouth, it's sweet and it dig one for body.
So, buy made in Nigeria. Buy a Risco product.
The National Center for Women Development, Nigeria's foremost establishment for gender research, training, and documentation, is 30 years old. To celebrate this milestone, the center invites major stakeholders and the public to the first in the series of the 30th anniversary celebrations, holding as follows. Date, Saturday 17th December 2022. Venue, the Auditorium, National Center for Women Development, Central Area, opposite CBN, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Chief host, Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Tallen. Convener, Director General NCWD, Dr. Asabe Vilita Bashir. Planning Committee, Announcer.
My people, my name is Emeka. Mekus Kamat. Let me get all this people. I don't learn my lesson. Somebody come buy motor for my hand, carry big money, come give me. Now when we get bust, then my eye open. I don't know that 419 be. Now when EFCC grab them, they come grab me too. Now he make me they warn you. All of them when they do business like me, where they carry big money, well I go sometimes I go carry transfer, carry bring back. They could shine in my eye because the special control unit against money laundering, what they call SCUMO, they don't want to say if the money pass 5 million naira for individual, no collect them. If he pass 10 million naira for company, no collect them. Can I go where? Bank. If you not do them like that, 250,000 naira for every day where this offense happen. Or they go suspend your license, or they go cuckoo, shut them down, pata for your hand. No talk say, I no want you.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Thanks for staying with us. This year alone, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has secured 3,615 convictions of persons apprehended in corruption and financial crimes, with many others still under investigation and trial, while over 134 billion naira has been recovered by the Commission. This was made known by the chairman of the Commission, Abdurrashid Bawa, when he featured at the 62nd session of the State House press briefing. Correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The president in May this year accented to 3 key anti-corruption laws, and these are the Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Act, the Anti-Terrorism Act, and the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act. EFCC Chairman Abdurrashid Bawa says with the laws, Nigeria is not only setting the pace for itself in terms of improved anti-corruption drive, the country is also leading in the drive across the sub-region, Africa, and beyond.
One of the key things that the Process of Crime Act have given is the powers of non-conviction based for future. Very important. And from that time to now, I can tell you that we have recovered close to about 50 houses in Abuja alone.
He says the establishment of the Special Control Unit against money laundering domiciled in the commission is a game changer, as it is necessary to prevent and deter people in corrupt activities by blocking avenues that are being used to launder proceeds of crime.
Process of Crime Act as well as other relevant laws of public procurement are very soon, before the end of the year, we are going to publish, auctioning of real estate, across 15 locations. And from the list that was given to me now, which is still being, worked on, we are going to dispose over 160 flats, apartments, across these 15 locations in our country.
It would be recalled that the Vice President launched the Zero Tolerance and Integrity Manual recently, and the chairman says the whole idea is a way of engaging the youth to imbibe the culture of integrity and stressing the need for robust public engagement.
And we have to carry out an audit, from our EFCC recovery account, and we paid into that account 120 billion naira and 29 million US dollars, about 6.6 million euros, as well as about 1.1 million pounds into that. And the president have sanctioned that all those monies should be utilized for what? For the provision of critical infrastructure in this country.
The session focused on the key updates and strides being made by the federal government in the core area of anti-corruption, as well as innovation that have been introduced by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to curb financial crimes and money laundering. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
News from the legislature now. Senate has cautioned the Niger Delta Development Commission against spending funds appropriated for the commission outside the region. This is coming from the Senate Committee on Niger Delta as it screened 13 out of 15 nominees as chairman and board members of the NDDC. Ignatius Nkwo has more.
On the 23rd of November 2022, Senate received list of 15 nominees from President Muhammadu Buhari for confirmation as board members of the Niger Delta Development Commission. 1 month after, the Senate Committee on Niger Delta Affairs has assessed the suitability of the nominees with emphasis on prudence and adherence to the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act in project execution.
And make sure that the purpose for which the Niger Delta Commission is established is being achieved.
We are aware that majority of your resources are not spent in Niger Delta. That must stop.
And I have seen the men that I have been nominated along with. We have been in contact with each other. We are going to work as a team because I'm a team player.
Some of the senators and House of Representative members stressed the need for members of the board to come from oil-producing areas, a concern the committee promised to address as Senator Nicholas Tofowomo presented a petition against the nomination of Charles Ogomola from Ondo State.
Are we the three senators jointly, we wrote a petition to the Senate President, and I have a copy of it here. Is from Owo. They don't produce oil there at all.
We need to be more guided. We have appointed the chairman from our state before. That is not from the local government where they produce oil. We'll be ready to support you. We don't want an NDDC that will work like an island.
Two nominees, Pius Odudu from Edo State and Anthony Okanne from Imo State, were not available for the exercise. For more than 5 years, the Niger Delta Development Commission has been without a substantive commission. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And the House of Representatives has approved the establishment of a federal government infrastructure agency to be vested with the responsibility of repairing government property damaged by hoodlums. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on this and other considerations during Thursday's plenary.
The Federal Infrastructure Rehabilitation Management Agency Establishment Bill seeks coordination and regulation in the rehabilitation of property belonging to the federal government.
Management of government destroyed property by hoodlums, including repair, reconstruction of affected facilities.
The agency, when established, shall sustain a master plan and provide comprehensive database of all damaged property of government. 6 bills were read the third time and passed, among them bill to establish Federal Medical Center Ranu in Kano State, sponsored by Kabiru Al-Hazarum, and bill to establish Federal Medical Center Ondo State. The motion from Representative Babangida Ibrahim requesting provision of a tertiary health center in Funtua was adopted.
Only Funtua senatorial districts lack the presence of the federal medical facility, despite its geographical distance from such facilities available in the states.
House members considered and approved 15 bills as the committee of the whole, while 6 bills passed first reading, among which is the bill seeking the establishment of a Nigeria Climate Change Fund. In response to the invitation extended to the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to brief the House Thursday.
The delegation of His Excellency the President Muhammad Buhari, currently attending the USA Africa Summit in Washington, D.C. Please accept, Mr. Honorable Speaker, the assurance of the Civil Governor's highest personal regards and consideration.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Public Petitions is to investigate alleged allocation of more than 300 vehicles to a single auctioneer by the Nigeria Customs Service. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum has advocated the continuation of Better Education Service Delivery BESDA, a World Bank assisted program built to end this year. This was at the end of a workshop with World Bank Mission organized by UBEC in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. Abdullahi Musa Soleja reports.
Eliminating or reducing to the barest out-of-school children in Nigeria is one of the cardinal focuses of the Ministry of Education at the insertion of the present administration. To this end, the World Bank committed millions of dollars into the project between 2018 and 2022. UBEC at the federal, while SUBEC at the state levels have been pushing for the success of the project. Assessing the progress of the program and working out modalities for the way forward informed this workshop.
That's that. It has yielded very positive results in Borno State. I'm commending the World Bank. I'm also commending the UBEC and indeed the federal government under the leadership of President Buhari. Because down in northern Nigeria, what we want to do to address the lingering problem of insecurity is to address the problem of education. And one way we can address the problem of education is to reduce the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria.
This program is in 17 focus states. All the states in northeast, all the states in northwest, Ebonyi in southeast, Rivers in south-south, Oyo in southwest, and Niger in north central. We have reduced a lot of out-of-school children. The target was 3 million. I was able to meet our target and even achieve more than what our target was given to us.
Nigeria is one of the leading countries with the highest number of out-of-school children. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, is urging heads of administration from the authority's zones and state stations to build conducive atmosphere for work and uphold discipline for better service delivery. The DG emphasized on these at the NTA 2022 Heads of Administration Conference held in Abuja. Joseph Otsen reports.
From the zones, states and community stations across the country, these heads of administration are in Abuja to review areas of operations for improved performance. Key issues of successional planning, promotion examination, security, pension, discipline, computerization, and other operations are tabled down.
The most important ingredient of succession plan is the way and manner, the dedication and commitment with which those in positions of authority and leadership lead.
For the Director General of NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembos, and other executive directors, building conducive atmosphere for work, especially motivation, discipline, and adopting emerging trends are key to optimal production.
For one to be a very good administrator, you must be deadline-driven and possess a high level of organizational skills. Good administrators can balance multiple tasks.
Every day they talk about discipline, which every time people turn around and say it's lacking now. If an 12th officer will not know the limit of the boundaries of a general manager, I think that is sad.
But if you are focused, you are doing the correct thing, certainly it will make NTA great.
Help us guide and direct staff at the station level on new administrative department, not only the admin department, all the other departments.
If there are manpowers, the available ones must be able to be trained in order to carry out the duties.
The theme for this year's annual conference is understanding broadcasting administration beyond personal interests. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Time now to join Michael in Lagos for more reports on network news. Michael?
Thank you, Sulu. The issue of using and misusing bleaching creams represents a huge threat to public health. The situation has, however, become more worrisome. That is why NAFDAC embarked on a sensitization workshop for journalists on the dangers of bleaching creams and regulatory control in Lagos. Lynn Neneke reports that the workshop will be replicated in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
Despite the fact that bleaching, toning, lightening have negative side effects, many dark-skinned people remain determined in their resolve to achieve lighter skin. It has become challenging that Nigeria and indeed the black human race is facing skin epidemic.
We want you to pay attention.
This sensitization workshop is therefore meant to equip journalists with the requisite knowledge on the dangers of the misuse of bleaching creams and the innate consequences, as well as providing Nigerians with the right decision about safeguarding their health.
Products that are supposed to be used as prescription medicines should not be offered on the same as cosmetics. They are prescription medicines. There is a place for steroid use under the direction of a medical practitioner.
Speakers lamented the influx of skin bleaching creams and products in the country, which they say have assumed alarming proportions.
When those bleaching agents are applied, they destroy or inhibit the production of melanin. When melanin is inhibited, the production, it exposes the skin to UV rays from the sun. So when the person is exposed to sunlight for extended period, you find that the person is prone to skin cancer.
Experts advised Nigerians to always read the composition of any product purchased to avoid being victims of adulterated cosmetics. In Lagos, Lynn Neneke, NTA News.
The period when Nigerians place premium on imported items over domestic products is gradually fading out, due to the implementation of the federal government executive order aimed at promoting standards and assurance of quality. Towards ensuring compliance with this policy, regulatory agencies are keeping surveillance to prevent the infiltration of substandard goods into the country. Abolade Salami reports.
With several attempts made by governments and concerned authorities to curb production, circulation, and importation of fake and substandard goods, some unpatriotic Nigerians still devise dubious means of circumventing the process. To curb the abnormally, regulatory framework and industry-specific recommendations were introduced by the Standards Organization of Nigeria to a certain certification of approved products.
And when it meets the requirement,
That means when it conforms, then it is given a MANCAP certificate. And that MANCAP certificate means mandatory conformity assessment program. The government expects that whatever you produce within the country, whatever you are selling out to consumers, must meet the minimum requirements of the standard.
Since the regulatory body made it difficult for manufacturers of substandard products to operate freely, Nigerian market is being sanitized and domestic products are gaining ground even beyond the shores of the country.
We've been doing a tremendous work to make sure that the cables that are produced in member companies are of best standards, and we have continued to maintain this standard, and that is why Nigerian cable is termed the best cable that you can actually see in the markets.
And almost all our products are MANCAP certified. And so it helps us because we work with standard, and so we maintain the standard. And since quality is our promise to the nation, that is why we have good relationship with SON from inception.
Key players say sustaining this momentum is key to economic prosperity, since standards is the life and blood of any country desirous of growth. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages. The news continues shortly. Please stay.
Me, it depend you, it depend us, it depend everybody. Yes, but not share, scatter, come out, it no go suffer. This one they talk, and make them go if they want go. This one they talk, we go come out, we go. This one say, make we scatter, make we burn, make we do everything. When you scatter finish, where you go? Okay, you go take private jet, carry your family go. But make I ask you, what about your uncle, mama, auntie, brother, sister? What about them? Remember, who throw stone for market? You don't know whether the stone go touch your own person. If the thing will go come out from your mouth, you no go fit gather us together as one people. Shut up with please. War no get friend. You don't know language, you don't know anything. So if our we get too much, make we sit down at the table of dialogue. Nigeria na my own, Nigeria na your own, Nigeria na our own. Make we come together, keep them together.
Yeah. This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. God, do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. We can rise up, yes, we gon' rise up, we gon' rise up, yeah. Africa rise up, yes, we gon' rise up, Africa rise up.
A body has been found, possibly a child. I think I have something.
I think it's another ritual murder.
Oh, that's the cover for this morning. What do we know about these so-called senior court members?
It appears their real strength lies in the members now in government, judiciary, business, and the police.
Now this is getting interesting.
President Muhammadu Buhari condoles with the family, friends, and professional colleagues of Nigeria's ambassador to Spain, Ademola Seriki CUN, whose passing has left the government in shock. President Buhari recalls his meeting with the late nationalist who exuded an enterprising nature and patriotic zeal during his official visit to Madrid, Spain, earlier in the year. The president urges family members, the diplomatic corps, friends and relatives to approximate the legacies of the diplomat, especially in nation building at this trying period of loss, pain and reflection, and prays God to receive his soul. When news of the death of Nigeria's ambassador to Spain and permanent representative to UNWTO broke, it came as a rude shock to the nation and the diplomatic community. Anthony Forson takes a look at the man, Demola Seriki.
Born in 1959, Ademola Razak Seriki, popularly known as Demola Seriki, had his education in Nigeria and the United States. The deceased, an experienced lawyer, international programmer, and IT project management consultant, is also an inspirational and motivational speaker with legal background in business law. His public service career is worthy of reflection. In 1992, he became the senatorial candidate for Lagos Central District Constituency on the platform of the defunct NRC. Before joining the APC, he was a chieftain of the PDP. He served as Minister of State for Interior, Minister of State for Defense, Supervising Minister for Mines and Steel Development, Minister of State for Agric and Water Resources. In 2009, the Oba of Lagos, Rilwan Akiolu, conferred on him the title of Otunare of Lagos. As Nigeria's ambassador to Spain with concurrent accreditation as permanent representative of Nigeria to the United Nations World Tourism Organization by President Muhammadu Buhari, I had this interview with him on UNWTO when Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed went to Madrid, Spain to sign for the United Nations World Tourism Organization Global Conference to be hosted by Nigeria.
It's going to bring a huge reputation and credibility to our country, and they will know that we're in the lead in either of films, music and entertainment or what have you.
As ambassador, the Nigerian embassy under him was given a facelift befitting of Nigeria.
When I came here, the admit charges was 60. I reduced it to 50. For children, it was 40. I reduced it to 25. Now we have ID. We have ID cards. I have established NCS, Nigerian Citizen Services ID card. So that NCS card, in case you don't have your passport has expired, or because there is no booklet, you can use the ID to identify yourself among Spanish police. So that's what I have established. These are the reforms I have made.
He spoke of his commitment, love, and passion for fatherland. Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar likewise expressed his condolences over the death of Ambassador Ademola Razak Seriki. He describes the late Seriki as a patriot whose genteel attitude bore a distinctive trademark in all assignments he undertook. Atiku Abubakar prays Allah to forgive his sins and grant him Al-Jannah Firdaus. And the body of Selimota Idu Suleiman, the principal accountant with the Nigerian Television Authority Channel 5 Abuja, has been laid to rest according to Islamic injunction. Hawa Gimba reports that Selimota Idu Suleiman died Thursday morning in an accident while on her way to work.
Lowering the body to Mother Earth and Muslim Cemetery, Amir, Abuja Muslim Forum, Imam Lukman Ahmed urged families, friends and relations to see what happened as Allah's wish. He said the late Salimatu was a devoted Muslim, faithful wife and a good mother worthy of emulation. The Muslim faithful had earlier prayed for the repose of the soul of the late mother of four before taking her to her final abode. Late Salimatu Ido Suleiman died Thursday morning after her car was crushed at the Chikakwere axis of Kubwa by a Kaduna-bound train.
This is a very sad incident. The community is crying.
We quickly rushed here after receiving the distress call, and on arrival, we were able to meet some of the eyewitnesses who were around when the sad incident happened.
Until her death, the late Salimatu was a principal accountant with the Finance Department of NTA Channel 5 Abuja. She is survived by her husband and 4 children. Hawagimba, NTA News.
In other news, redesigned Naira notes begin circulation, although most Abuja residents who besieged banks to seek them this Thursday were disappointed at the limited edition. Leah Katung Babatunde reports that sources within the deposit money banks say it will surely go round, but not at the pace expected by the public.
So precisely on the 26th of October 2022, we got invited to the Central Bank of Nigeria for an emergency briefing, which was eventually going to change the look of Nigerian currencies, perhaps forever. Now, Governor Emefiele announced that the currency was going to be redesigned, and of course, he gave his reasons for that, to include counterfeiting and other sharp practices.
Furthermore, we believe that the currency will help deepen our drive to entrench cashless economy, and it will be complemented by increased minting of our e-naira.
Some weeks after that, the president unveiled the newly designed currency, and today being the 15th of December, just as the bank had notified the general public, the new currencies are out. 1,500 and 200 Naira notes.
It's a new horizon. It's what Nigeria will be longing for.
I prefer the 500, the green color. It's looking like a foreign currency.
Okay, about 200 and 1,000.
200 is good, but the 1,000 is looking somehow.
Just the color. But I like the 500 and the 200.
The redesign is good. This is because if it hadn't been done, the concerns would increase. These ones are more beautiful.
A journey to a number of ATMs show that no machine within the vicinities we've been to has been loaded, and we went into some of the banking halls, and of course the currencies were in limited supply, with assurances by banking officials that in the coming days and weeks the money distribution is going to permeate. In Abuja, my name is Leah Katung Babatunde, NTA News.
This is where we bring in Benny Adams with business news. Benny?
Thank you. Welcome to business. Nigeria's inflation rises 21.47% in November 2022 from 21.09% in October 2022, says the National Bureau of Statistics. This is a 6.07% increase compared to November 2021's 15.40%, which means that in the month of November 2022, the general price level was 6.07% higher relative to November 2021, the highest peak in at least 17 years. The NBS stated that increase in cost of importation, production, energy, and currency depreciation are responsible for the year-on-year increase. The 0.15% increase recorded month-on-month was attributed to sharp increase in demand usually experienced during the festive season. The food inflation rate also increased to 24.13% on a year-on-year basis, a 6.92% higher compared to 17.21% recorded in November 2021. Core inflation, which excludes the price of volatile agriculture produce, stood at 18.24% in November 2022, up by 4.39% when compared to 13.85% recorded in November 2021. And moving on, the National Sugar Development Council says the nation's sugar subsector has in the last 10 years attracted investment worth $3 billion through the faithful implementation of the Nigeria Sugar Master Plan. The Executive Secretary of the Sugar Council, Zak Adedeji, added that the sector has 5 investors who have signed into components of the master plan. Meanwhile, speaking to a trade delegation of the Kingdom of Netherlands led by Director Sustainable Economic Development Steve Collett today in Abuja, Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment Mariam Katagum said the federal government welcomes more investment into renewable energy, particularly in the agriculture and horticulture sectors, which offer more incentives to potential investors. Well, it's time for break.
In a third final in 20 years.
This out of this world, Yakata. Now you can get a GoTV decoder, Go channel, and 1 month of GoTV Jolly for only 4,900 naira, and enjoy all the show-stopping games live from Qatar on GoTV.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, fearless, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem with pride to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
The occasion gives cause for reflection and reminds us of the sacrifice made by our armed forces in preserving the unity of the country.
All ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to this account. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
Now for a beat of sports.
Nigeria national male hockey team at the just concluded first Africa Hockey Fives World Cup qualifiers, which held in Cairo, finished second after losing 9-2 to host Egypt at the final classification match on Thursday. Both teams will represent Africa in the male category of the Hockey Fives World Cup, expected to hold in Oman next year. 8 teams, including Nigeria, participated in the 5-day championship. In the meantime, sports enthusiasts have continued to applaud Morocco national football team for their impressive outing at the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Morocco, being the first African country to reach the semi-final of the World Cup Wednesday, lost to France in their first semi-final 2-0.
They have set the pace, and I know that other African nations will emulate Morocco.
They did so well and they represented Africa well, and it's a thing of joy to see that an African country is paving way for us and seeing that we are doing good.
In another development, the 2022 Regional International Para-Sitting Volleyball Clubs Championship is ongoing at the Indoor Sports Hall of the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos, with 6 male and 3 female clubs from Nigeria and the Republic of Benin. Kehinde Lamidi reports that 5 matches were decided on day 1 of the championship.
It's excellent, and my boys played according to instructions, and I'm so happy.
My boys really played below standard. Reasons best known to them.
Elsewhere, the annual Lagos Para Table Tennis Open served up Thursday at the Sir Molade Okoya Thamas Indoor Sports Hall of the Teslim Balogun Stadium, Lagos, with top players including Paralympians from different parts of the country battling it off in 38 events. With sports updates, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
Now for a quick check on the weather.
Glad you could join us. No dust was raised, and we're not expecting any dust to be raised come Friday, as weather conditions over the north and north central still remains dry, sunny, and dusty. It will be mainly cloudy over the south with rain chances to parts of Bayelsa, Lagos, Delta, Cross River and parts of Ondo State. There is an improvement in the air quality index compared to previous days. I'll see you again. I am Akari Samarda. Thanks for watching.
And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Remember to join the NTA in standing against rape and rapists. I'm Cyril Stover. Good night.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Hello and welcome to another amazing edition of your weekend.
I'm telling you, oh, it has to be heat, and it has to be steamy, it has to be hot. But we've decided that, somebody has to tell a story that is family oriented.
I'm not trying to fight you.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Movie.
Talking news everyone ever cared about.
See, when you say pour, you can't call water. You can't see, you don't excavate water.
This is the #1 program, Gallery.
Do you love to gist or gossip?
It's not easy. It is